I've got an itch I can't scratch, I'm missing a piece that completes a whole part of me, an open wound scar to see. Everybody come here, gather round, welcome to the freak show, the best in town. What the hell's wrong with me? I don't get along with anybody, honestly. I've been living in my own head constantly, thoughts jumbled round, think I need a new lobotomy. Wait, all these thoughts are too negative. I don't wanna get lost in the sedative. Gotta show them what I got, I'm competitive. You know I'm about to go off, I won't let them win, I'll take a stab. I wanna chase a bag, I wanna weigh, I can change all the things I lack. I gotta face the facts, I got a taste in that. Got me obsessed with the rest, I got an itch to scratch. I'll give up everything.
Sick of the venom in my brain, running from the past, wanna escape my pain. I just wanna be a better person, I deserve this, I just wanna break these chains. Always asking for greatness, true to myself, I never fake it. Seen too many once that I so they get famous. And when I say the truth, most really can't take it. In spite of everything I've been through, I'ma make it. Fake friends, but I'm a downfall, it's toxic. Day one, started the outlaws for profit. Now all I do is write verses, no talking. All I do is put the work in, no option. This was everything I ever wanted, created a legacy off of me, just being honest. And the fake ones hate, but it's all to no avail. They wanna see me lose, but you know I never fail.
I'll give up everything, daunting if I can see my dream. Cause I'll do anything, want a reality.
Oh man, do we have some fun stuff today, guys. Damn this fucking camera, dude. I'm gonna fucking strangle this. Strangle this camera. Oh man, here we go. Okay. Okay, we're good. Oh, what the hell's going on with this camera? Oh, what's that? Much better. Okay. All right. Lots of fun new things today. I saw that Fox did a little talk about Hassan Piker. And apparently Asmongold being suspended for a week has had major backlash on Twitch. So, boys, it's a new day. All right.
In this game, there is no luck. Luck is for losers.
Oh, how's it going, Nigel?
You think you're special?
Absolutely not. Damn, it's kind of crazy to see The Rock back in the ring. How's it going, Moraine? The hell is this? This looks like it might be a little fun. What is this?
It's a fragile balance. The light burns, the darkness drowns. You keep to the narrow road between. But what if power in hope, power in rage, power beyond your dreams
Dang, you sounds like you kind of busy this morning, Sticks.
and fears? It was always there, buried
That's all good, man.
in your shadow.
That is all good. Oh, ew, what the fuck? Oh, this game's stupid looking, dude. What the fuck? Oh, excuse me. Ooh, Mouse PI for hire, boys. You know we gotta watch that.
Welcome to the trap,
That's cool.
mouse.
What a crappy...
Oh,
Some falls don't begin in the sky.
So we plant a few bombs, watch the canisters go boom.
Mine started a few weeks back. The sky was just the exit wound.
Hey, watch.
Welcome to public transit, bub.
It didn't seem like much at first. Wasn't even sure it was a case.
What you need is a big one. And this, Mr. Pepper, is the big one.
But I won't die, right? What? Something within me, I don't know, old instinct maybe, said turn back.
Get some solid evidence, and we'll get to the bottom of this in no time.
Tammy, ain't you a sight for sore eyes?
Don't go count your mice just yet. They're coming. Just shut up and keep firing.
This case was more trouble than it was worth. But, well, trouble is what I do.
yo, W trailer. Seriously, what a great trailer.
Okay, this must be some kind of foreign film.
That's funny. That's clever. Ooh. What is this? Whispers of the Tall Grass? What is this? A No. Okay. Whatever. We didn't really expect much from that. So here we got the Critical Drinker talking about how they could fix Wonder Woman or what is it? Supergirl. Why the hell did I call it Wonder Woman? The fuck? Man, I must be on something today. Okay. Boop.
All these controversies and bad press swirling around James Gunn's Supergirl not by James Gunn got me thinking to myself, surely there must have been a better way to do this. Surely
There's always a better way to do this. But whenever you're trying to wrap your entire movie career around ideology, well, let's just say,
mega minds at DC could have found a way to introduce this.
whoever he got this from is a genius, by the way.
A better way to do this. Surely the mega minds
This is
at
great.
DC could have found a way to introduce this movie to the public in a way that would win people over and get them excited instead of turning them away. And so I asked myself, what could I have done differently if I was in charge? Could the drinker, in fact, have fixed Supergirl? I mean, I know this series is more about rewriting existing movies than managing PR campaigns, but hey, I can be flexible. And really, it touches on the same issues that a lot of movies experience these days, so why not use it as a learning experience for all of us? Ready? Too bad, I'm going in anyway. Now, the first and most important thing they should have done with this movie was to understand their mark.
I didn't think that new Superman movie was all that good. I thought it was okay. I didn't think much of it. It could have been better, in my opinion. I mean, Man of Steel was really good. I don't know
and
what
not
the
just
hell.
what it wants, but how big it even is anymore. And this is where I have to deliver some unpleasant truths, dear viewer. They're not going to taste very good, but just like Tatiana, you will swallow them. And in the end, you'll thank me. I mean, she never has, though. Truth number one. Is that superhero movies in general just aren't very popular anymore. I've already talked about superhero fatigue, oversaturation of the market, and the general decline of audience interest ad nauseum in other videos, so I'm not going to bore you with the whole argument again here. Instead, I'll just point to the MCU's box office returns as an example. In the 7 years from 2012 until 2019, the MCU had a total of 9 movies that grossed over $1 billion each.
That's
in the
crazy.
Years since then.
And you have to keep in mind those movies are still making money. Anytime they're viewed on Disney, anytime you buy or rent them, it grosses more money. It's insane how much money those movies made.
How many they've managed? 2. And both of those films relied heavily on nostalgia to get arses in seats. Now, that's bad enough, but shall I hit you with another harsh truth? Well, I don't care if you're ready.
I don't think James Gunn is all that good of a writer or director. I know. Hard take, guys. I know. I watched the Justice League by James Gunn or whatever the fuck. All right, that wasn't James Gunn, was it? Who made that? Who made that film? Who made the recent Justice League? Zack Snyder. I don't think he's very good of a writer either. That movie was a snooze fest, especially the long one. I don't think James Gunn is that good of a writer either, because I wasn't really a big fan of Guardians of the Galaxy. They're alright, but I don't think that... Like, if you watch Spider-Man or Venom or Avengers, they don't fit the same criteria as the Guardians of the Galaxy. And Guardians of the Galaxy was made by James Gunn. It has like a different feel to it than the rest of them. Some of you might get it, some of you just might not. But it has a completely different feel than compared to the other films in the Marvel Universe. And I always felt that way. That's why I was never really a big fan of the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. They're okay, but they're not Spider-Man or Venom.
Doing it anyway.
Or
female-led
Avengers.
Superhero movies don't tend to make money. Hey, don't hate me for telling inconvenient truths. And don't just take my word for it either. The numbers speak for themselves. In the past decade, there's been 9 major female-led superhero movies in theaters. And of those 9, only 3 have actually managed to turn a profit. Captain Marvel,
Wonder Woman, yeah. Wonder Woman.
Forever, and Wonder Woman. That means only
I'm not gonna lie. I'm surprised that Wakanda Forever actually got as much money as it did, but I guarantee you if they make another one, it's not. Because I don't think I've heard a single person say a good thing about Wakanda Forever. So I think they might have burned that bridge too.
3 female-led superhero movies from the past decade have actually succeeded. And
same thing with Wonder Woman 2. Wonder Woman 2 didn't really do all that good, and from what I understand, the first one is obviously way better. I've seen the first one, and I've seen the second one, and the second one was pretty bad compared to the first one. Let's be honest here.
Wonder Woman and Captain Marvel both came out before the decline of superhero movies in general, and both of those crashed out with disastrous sequels that brought in 80% less than their predecessors. The only film to buck the trend here is Wakanda Forever, which ported a female character in to replace the male lead of the previous film after the actor passed away in real life. It's kinda hard to gauge
what they should have done, and I have a friend that said this, they should have brought back in Michael B. Jordan. But the issue that I could see with that is that if they had brought back in Michael B. Jordan, it wouldn't work because he had supposedly died. And if you're going to bring back in Michael B. Jordan, then, well, why don't you just bring back in the original guy? You know, you get the problem there. You get the issue. So, like, I don't know. I don't know, man. I feel like Michael B. Jordan would be a great replacement.
The merits of this film on its own, because in some ways...
If you're wondering who Michael B. Jordan is, he's the original bad guy that the Wakanda King had to fight in the first film.
Coasting on the massive success of the first Black Panther movie, although I would point out that it made $500 million less at the box office. All of this is a long-winded way of saying that female-led superhero movies have a pretty spotty success rate, especially in recent years. Then there's name recognition to think about. See, Superman himself is about as ubiquitous as any fictional character can possibly be. You could pick almost any human being on the face of the earth, from a goat herder in Peru to an izakaya owner in Japan, show them a...
But you know who the best Superman so far has been? Henry Cavill. Let's be honest here. He's got the chin, bro. He's got the Chad chin. And you gotta have the Chad chin if you want to be Superman. That's all there is to it. You gotta have the chin.
Picture of Superman, and they'll probably know exactly who he is. He's had endless...
Bro, gotta be up there like, the what's his name from Timmy Turner? The Crimson Chin? Gotta be up there with that Giga Chin, bro.
Movies, TV shows, cartoons, and merchandise made about him for almost 100 years now. He may be one of the single most marketable characters ever created. Well, apart from this fucking thing at least. Supergirl though? Nah, not so much. Especially in the world of film and TV, which is what we're talking about here. Her first and so far only big screen outing was the disastrous 1984 movie. God bless Helen Slater though, she tried her little heart out with that one. And while the TV show from a few years ago had some fans on the CW, it was hardly a global success. One failed movie from 40 years ago and a mildly successful...
The problem is that Supergirl just isn't, it doesn't hit the same. That's the problem, is that you have somebody like whoever made okay, let me take it all the way back, hold on. So you have someone like Stan Lee, and he makes Spider-Man, right? And then you have some peon that wants to cater to some weird fucking fantasy audience because they think that this person isn't being catered to, even though Spider-Man's already been around for like 5 years or 10 years. So everybody knows who Spider-Man is. And then this other person comes along and is like, I want to make Spider-Girl. And it's like, oh, great, yay. And it's like, yeah, sure, it'll probably grow an audience over time, but it'll never be the original. Doesn't matter how hard you try, doesn't matter how much marketing you put in, doesn't matter how many times you change the character, doesn't matter how many times you change the character, it's not gonna be the same. Deal with that fact. You either deal with that fact or accept the fact that you're about to lose a lot of money on a B class character, because that's what it is. It's not going to be the base character. It is a sub-branch of that character. I don't understand why they're trying to force this so hard all the goddamn time with everything. Stop trying to force it. If you think that it would be that easy, that the writers of these comics would have done it by now, there's a reason why they get somebody else to write subclasses of comics. It's because they know they don't want to waste their fucking time taking away from what could be another really good Superman arc, or another good Spider-Man arc, or another good arc of like, I don't know, the Blade, I don't know. It's because the subgenre of it is not going to be anywhere near as classic and as heavy-hitting as the base main themed stuff. It never will. Now, if they had started with Supergirl, I don't know. Maybe it would have been better. But the fact of the matter is that they didn't. It didn't start that way. Deal with the fact that this wasn't never really a primary character. It was always a side character. Just like Robin. There's a reason why nobody talks about fucking Robin in Batman. Okay? And there's a reason why you don't see Robin the movie. Why? Like, come on. How is this so hard to understand?
TV show don't exactly launch a character into the public consciousness. Now, all of this is relevant because Superman, based around a far more popular and well-known character, in the movie that was supposed to relaunch an entire...
I don't think the John was crap. I think that it's just a bunch of stupid-ass millennial writers that came straight out of college that are ready to push their ideology from all these pencil-pushing fucking teachers that have pushed their ideology in schools and college. That's what it's boiling down to. That's what happens whenever you don't pay the teachers enough. You get a bunch of dumbasses, and you get the handful of teachers that want to do the right thing, but then you got a lot of these idiots that don't know what the hell they're doing that just want to push ideology in schools. There are really good teachers out there that want to be educators. And then there are a lot of teachers that shouldn't be educators, but they have to be accepted as educators because nobody wants to get paid the amount of money they're getting paid. It sucks.
The new universe of DC on film barely scraped its way to $600 million last year. That is not a good result, no matter how people try to spin it. And realistically, it's probably as good as it's going to get for DC now.
Does Disney own DC? Actually, didn't they just get acquired? Does Disney own DC? No. Who owns Warner Brothers? Paramount Global. Who owns is Disney under Paramount Global? No. Okay, so they're not connected. It's not Disney.
I think it's safe to say that Supergirl is going to make less than that did. It's just a question of how much. The reality is that regardless of its creative merits, and that's debatable right now, a movie like Supergirl is weak. It's a lame duck. The only way it can succeed is by using what I call the Captain Marvel doctrine. Riding the momentum of a strong and successful franchise and convincing audiences they just have to see this film.
I hate that actor. I hate the actor. I hate the fucking the character. I hate this character. I hate Captain Marvel. I can't stand the actor for it. I love that whenever she's sitting in a chair and she's getting asked about like stuff about the characters, and the first thing that comes out of her mouth is, "Yeah, she's the strongest character," and I'm like, "Oh my god, piss off."
Marvel doctrine.
Weirdo.
Riding the momentum of a strong and successful franchise and convincing audiences they just have to see this film if they want to understand the big overarching story. Now, that worked great for Marvel back
Anything we can do to put a female lead as the strongest, right?
2019, but sadly, it's not 2019 anymore, and this ain't Marvel. It would have made infinitely more sense to give the heavy hitters like Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman their own solo movies, team them up for a money-spinning Justice League crossover, and then start introducing B-tier characters like Supergirl in the next phase, when presumably you'd have enough commercial momentum and fan goodwill to actually support them. What I'm saying.
And that's the thing, is that the individual films have to be good. They have to be good. They can't be slop.
Here is that if you add all these different factors together, the challenging market for superhero movies in general these days, the historically low success rate of female-led superhero flicks in particular, and the lackluster state of the franchise it's now part of, then the chances of box office glory for Supergirl look about as likely as Gal Gadot winning an Oscar for Best Actress. A more likely scenario is a global haul somewhere in the region of $400 million. Not exactly great, but it also doesn't have to be a disaster either if you keep your budget under control, like under $100 million. Any serious market research would have told them this way in advance.
Yeah, like I said, you tried to make Supergirl a sub-tier of Superman into a box office banger, and it was never going to work because you can't even make a Superman movie that's a box office banger. You can't make a sub into a banger if you can't even hit home with the audience when it comes to like Superman. Like, it's not going to happen. It doesn't matter how much money you pump into that movie.
They had the common sense, they would have acted on it. Recognize the potential but also the limitations of your film and accept that just throwing more money at the problem isn't going to fix it. Superman had one of the most over-the-top marketing campaigns in Hollywood history.
Dude, I love Sucker Punch and Underworld. Those are really good films.
Well, look where it got them. The second unpleasant truth we have to come to terms with here is that if you're a movie studio, the media is not your friend. Yeah, they might be all fake smiles and friendly puff piece interviews, but at the end of the day, they have all the sincerity of a female compliment. What they really want to do is sell headlines, generate clicks, make noise online, and nothing generates headlines like a good controversy. That is what they are looking for every minute of every day. No entertainment journalist worth their salt wants to report on a happy and harmonious production that's releasing into a welcoming market and expecting to do just fine. What they want is conflict, backlash, sensationalism, brave actors taking a stand against hatred and intolerance. They want to dig up something, anything to get people to click on that news article, to land that next big scoop, even if they have to goad actors and celebrities into talking about things that they clearly do not want to talk about.
The reason I'm asking about the past...
We saw this recently whenever we saw somebody ask Imaru what her political view was on something, and she said, if you're on the internet asking a cosplay gamer person what her political view is, you need to get off the internet. And she got a lot of hate for that. These people are willing to tear down somebody's movie career or streaming career simply to get clicks. That's all they care about. Like, if you are an actor, the last thing you should be doing is getting involved with politics. If you are a content creator and you don't have to turn to politics, then don't. Do your own thing. Because it will alienate a lot of people and it will gain you a lot of people. And you gotta be ready for that shitstorm. You do.
Is that
we see it every day in this chat.
You've talked in other interviews again about your relationship with your father and
Robert Downey Jr.
All of that in the dark periods you entered and taking drugs and drinking and all of that. And I just wondered whether you think you're free of all of that, or whether that's still something.
I'm sorry, I really don't. What are we doing?
Case in point,
there it
Millie
is.
Alcock's.
There it is. That's one of the reasons why Clav got up and walked out on interviews. Like, you have to realize that whenever you're asking somebody that is there for one reason, something that they don't want to answer, like, when did an incent become implied? If you're an actor and you're being harassed or asked a question that has nothing to do with the movie you've been in recently, or you as a person, when it comes to like upcoming movies, new movies, your thoughts behind movies, or your ability to act in your career, and it immediately turns to politics, just get up and walk out of the room. Don't even, like, you are famous. You don't have to sit here and play ball with these B or C list article makers. That's why Clav, anytime he gets brought in for something and he agrees to something and they start asking him for like what his politics are, he gets up and he walks out. You know why? Because his loyalty is to his audience, not to these legacy media companies. A lot of people don't seem to get that. Whenever you have more viewership than the daily streaming or the daily legacy media broadcast, you're already better than them. You don't need their opinion. You shouldn't care about their opinion at all.
I'm sorry, I really don't. What are we doing?
Case in point, Millie Alcock's recent statements about being a young actress in not one but two major franchises, House of the Dragon and now Supergirl. Now, that was all part of a much bigger and longer interview that covered all manner of topics, but the moment she happened to mention the reaction to her as a woman online, well, guess what every major news outlet decided to lead with? And the thing is, it didn't have to happen that way. All she
and
really
you know why Robert Downey Jr. was able to do that? Because he's a very respected and respectful, there's the key word there, respectful actor. He knows what to do and what not to do. He's expected to do what he knows he's supposed to do. And he's expected to take his fucking shoes off when he's in someone else's house if they ask. And you know what he fucking does? He does it. Robert Downey Jr. is one of the most respected and highest paid grossing actors in Hollywood for a reason. Robert Downey Jr. is a gem and a pile of shit. That's why.
to say was, fans are free to think whatever they like. All I can say is that I gave this role my best shot, I'm grateful for this opportunity, and hopefully people will give the movie a fair chance and judge for themselves. It's simple, it's humble, and it's uncontroversial. It's not going to win you any fans in the news media, but it's not going to turn your own customers against you, and at the end of the day, those are the important ones. And all of this brings me to my third and final unpleasant truth here. Actors can fucking kill your movie. It's Hollywood, baby. Actors today don't just have to perform in the film anymore, they also have to be borderline professional hype men, PR gurus, salesmen, raconteurs, and politicians all rolled in.
There's only one thing that today's artists, or today's actors have that they didn't have back then. Think about the Three Stooges. Think about the comedy that was there. Think about how all of them could sing and dance. Like dance. Tap professionally. Do ballet. Sing and play every instrument. These actors nowadays don't even have to do that shit. Like whenever you were an actor back in the day, I'm talking back in the day, you had to do it all. You had to do voice impressions. You had to be funny. You had to be really charismatic. You had to tap dance. You had to sing. You had to write songs. You had to act. You had to do everything. You had to do your own stunts. Like, the talent back then would put these people to shame. If you didn't have talent and charisma, you didn't go far. Period. That's the thing. Like, they complain about the stuff it is so much easier to be famous now when all you got to do is make sure that mommy and daddy has enough money to send you off to acting school. It's garbage. I hate this mentality. Like, and then you've got cameras and shit everywhere, and if you look a type of way, you can, just imagine if you didn't look handsome or you didn't look sexy back whenever everything was black and white. You were almost guaranteed not to be successful. If you weren't handsome or sexy, you had to be funny. You had to be. It was the only way.
To one. And with an entertainment news complex that's always sniffing around for the next headline, one fuck up is all it takes to derail a film's entire promo campaign. Now, I'll admit that some actors are better at this than others. Some are master bullshit artists who can
Man, it's crazy to think that The Rock isn't muscular anymore. He used to look like the guy that would break bones. Now he looks like the guy that hires somebody to break bones. It's insane to think that he can't do weights like that anymore, man. It's crazy. He still looks good, but like he ain't buff no more. It's so creepy to look at.
For hours without really saying anything.
And how quickly he lost his muscle mass too was shocking.
Good doing it. Others can effortlessly deflect attempts to bait them, using charm and a bit of verbal panache to get the conversation back on track without making things awkward.
I'm curious if that's comparable to this sort of world, this culture of toxic fandom, where like if you make a movie, especially if you make a superhero movie, like you have great intentions, but there are always going to be a small yet vocal group of people there can kind of just be toxic.
It doesn't.
I understand what you're saying, but when it comes to fans, it is a fan's right to have whatever opinion they want to have.
That's right.
And people are going to be upset because...
Remember, you're never going to make everybody happy. That is retail at its finest. You can try to make the majority happy, but when you start catering to the minority, you've already lost the game. You're not going to make everyone happy. That is a fact of life. The sooner you get with that and you understand that, the sooner we can get back to making good films.
When you're talking about books or games, because you're never going to be the exact person who they had in their head or who they played on Witcher 3, for example.
Yep.
I don't necessarily consider that toxic. I just consider that passionate.
Unfortunately, though, others don't just walk straight into the trap. They run into it head first and then keep going like they're taking a fucking victory lap. The most extreme example is obviously going to be Rachel Zegler, whose never-ending cavalcade of PR disasters obliterated any chance of success for Snow White, but there's plenty of others that have walked the same tragic path. Brie Larson effectively derailed her career for at least half a decade by...
We started whenever I kept hearing the trans argument being, well, what about the people that have both genders? And I have a rebuttal to that. If you don't know what that's called, you don't deserve to talk about it. There is a name, there is a scientific name for that type of person. And if you don't know what it's called, you haven't even begun to start the process to cater to them, therefore you should not. That should not be something that your little simple brain should be doing. Because that tiny fucking minority should not alter the entire course of every country in the world. I'm sorry, but it's not going to happen.
Coming across as prickly,
same thing with
aloof,
movies.
Combative, and about as likable as a shit sandwich during her Captain Marvel interviews with journalists who were only too happy.
Nope, you're still wrong. You're still wrong. That's not what it's called. There will be a small fraction of people that will get the original term for it.
To feed the controversy, and all of that negative PR came back to bite her big time with the Marvels. Only in recent years has she finally realised these people are not on her side and they never were, and the only correct move is not to play.
Sort of outspoken and very vocal advocate for Time's Up and Me Too. I'm curious how you feel about Johnny Depp's film opening the festival, and do you plan to see it?
You're asking me that?
Yes.
I don't know. I'm sorry, I don't understand the correlation or why me.
Yeah. It's just like gay is happy. I'm sorry, but there's never going to be a time where you're going to convince me, no matter how many times I Google it, that gay means that you like men. I'm sorry. The original definition was happy. That's why if you listen to songs, pretty and witty and gay, it's in the song. Happy. Pretty and witty and happy. It's the same thing. Hermaphrodite is the original term. It comes from Greek. It's Greek. Everything we learn, everything I learned in EMT came from a Greek meaning. You don't even know what it's called. I don't even give a like. Whenever I learned it was 3 years ago. In 3 years ago, we were being told the base of everything. This new shit they got now, I guarantee you, that shit won't even fly in EMT. It won't fly as a doctor. You can call it whatever you want. You can change the definition as many times as you want, but it stemmed from somewhere. And us old dogs, we know where it came from. That's how I know you don't know what you're talking about. Everything that has to do with EMT or paramedics stems from Greek mythology. In some way, shape, or form. Just like our star systems. It's just ingrained in our culture.
Specifically.
All of this is to say that if you're making a movie like Supergirl, and you've got a young and impressionable lead who's still learning the fame game, and could easily be baited into saying things that might harm your film's prospects, you should be very fucking careful about who you let them talk to. And you should give them as much...
Damn, they out early, huh, boys? You're not old enough, born... Bro, I was in school when 9/11 hit. I watched that shit on TV. They made us all sit around and watch it on the television. How old y'all think I am? I got to watch the second plane hit the tower live. The fuck? How old do you think I am? Ooh, that's a good one. Ooh, you close, man. You close. Woo, that was a good guess. You close. Older, though. I'm older than 29. That was a good guess. Bro. That was a good guess. Oh! Oh! Oh, you off by 2 years, so I'm 31. Damn. This person needs an award. Hey, Derek got it. Slipknot knows it. I don't think I've ever used moisturizer ever.
Media training.
The fuck even is that? What the fuck is the difference between moisturizer and lotion? I've never understood that. What's the difference?
A single unguarded answer can cause weeks of negative media coverage, stir up fan resentment, and turn customers
One has harsh chemicals and the other doesn't. Maybe?
From a movie they might have been on the fence about otherwise. So in a nutshell then, the drinker's advice for fixing Supergirl's PR and giving the movie a better chance of success could be boiled down to 3 simple steps. 1. Recognize this film isn't going to be a heavy hitter at the box office and either release it later into the slate when there's other bigger films to support it, or adjust the budget accordingly. 2. Recognize that the media aren't your friends and the paying customers aren't your enemies, and treat both accordingly. 3. Recognize that actors can and do say stupid things, and young and impressionable actors most of all, so be very careful about who they talk to and what they say. I'm not going to pretend you'd end up with a money printing machine on your hands if you do this stuff.
It's kind of sad that we live in a day and age where legacy media and these interviewers try everything they can to tarnish an actor's reputation. You can't just let them be an actor. You have to try and degrade their character in some way, shape, or form. It's so sick. It's such a sick mentality.
But you'd at least have a better shot at success. And really, I think this advice would apply to most Hollywood films at this point. I know it's not going to matter. I know they're never going to listen to some drunken asshole like me. But hey, at least I can say I tried.
W critical drinker, by the way. W critical drinker. So we got this stupid ass. This is the last thing before I start covering Hassan and all that stuff. Let me see. Some person decided to burn down a Walmart. And then they posted about it on social media because they're idiots.
But I know enough to guess with a high level of confidence that you've been angry before. Unless I got the Dalai Lama watching or something, I bet there have been moments in your life where you've been fuming, extremely angry. It's natural. It's normal. I mean, Jiminy Christmas, earlier today, I was angry. I was driving and a spider went across my windshield. And it was a rather large spider. This puppy was set to Wumbo, and I don't have arachnophobia.
Don't even talk to me about Dude, I remember one time, this happened to me one time, I damn near shit myself, I kid you not. It was in the visor. And I didn't pull the visor down. I started driving. Thankfully, I was still in the neighborhood, right? And this big motherfucker starts crawling its way out above the visor on top of the roof. And I look up and I thought I had saw something moving, right? And I was like, the fuck is that? And I look up and it's just this big ass fucking spider. I have never moved so methodically in my life. I slowed that car down so quietly and immediately jumped out after I threw it in park. I was gonna swat it, but then it like kind of crawled up onto the fucking top and I was like, just stay there. I got back in and I kept driving. I fucking checked the visors and I was like, every day after that, whenever I got into my car, I checked the visors before I'd take off or anything like that.
phobia or anything, but I don't like them, and I certainly don't like them on my windshield. So I pulled over, and in my cup holder had a receipt. So I thought that'll be good enough. I'll just blast it with the receipt. And as I go to do that, it hits me with like a running back move. It hits me with like a double.
I don't think we have wolf spiders here in Texas. I don't know if we do or not.
Sidestep and then jumps on my arm. Then I fucking freak out and start like slapping my arm and screaming like a maniac.
That's what I was scared of. I was scared it was gonna like land on my face. I thought it was gonna be like Harry in Home Alone. Bro, if that thing had, I probably would have had a higher vocal pitch than that, dude. I'm not even kidding. I'm fine with spiders, but the minute it's on my face, I got a problem. I don't know who wouldn't have a problem with that.
I can't find the spider anymore. That makes me frown.
Do
it
we?
makes me angry.
I didn't know that.
I'm sure there's plenty of things that have made you angry. But have you ever been so angry that you light a 1.2 million square foot warehouse on fire and will most likely spend many, many years behind bars for it and film the whole thing for Instagram? Probably not, I would say. Most likely no. But I did just hear of someone who did. And it is a fascinating story because the anger makes sense. Like the reason why this employee was angry, I think a lot of people...
Remember when I said that this problem was going to get worse? It's getting worse.
People can understand. But drastic measures like this did nothing except ruin his life.
Drastic measures like this are only just the beginning. I can almost guarantee you it's going to get worse than this.
Life.
This is the video of him doing it right here.
Should have paid us enough to fucking live. You know, we may not get paid enough to fucking live, but these bitches dirt cheap. All you had to do was pay us enough to live. All you had to do was pay us enough to fucking live. All you had to do was pay us enough to live.
That entire building burnt to the ground. All of it. The entire facility burnt to the ground. Whenever I said this was going to get worse, that it started with Mandaloni. I don't agree with the fact that he killed somebody. But everything he said up until he killed the guy, I agree with. I agree with this guy saying. I don't agree with burning the warehouse down. I agree with these kids that are going out and doing this teen takeover stuff. I don't agree with them rioting and breaking into stores. There is a huge fucking problem in this country.
There goes your inventory.
This is a Kimberly Clark warehouse.
You've got people like Mandaloni calling out healthcare. You've got these teens that know that no matter, even if they go to college, the market's just going to be saturated with a lot of people with degrees and masters that are going to be working at Walmart. And then to boot, you've got the common workers that are tired of working for these companies and not being able to support themselves and having to get 2-3 other jobs just to support themselves. This is only the beginning until they fix this problem.
House that apparently served 50 million people. It was located in California, and a disgruntled 29-year-old employee filmed these videos, posted them on Instagram of him.
You can conform 100 people. But remember, there's always going to be one person in that group that you're never going to brainwash into being your servant. There's always going to be one. Especially with a country filled with 3 million people. Like, there's always going to be somebody that knows full well what's going on and wants to go out of their way to make sure that you can't do it to somebody else. And I don't agree with that. What should happen is legislation that puts the strength back into the workers or gives them the ability to live without requiring them to work. Because let's be honest here. If you think that these companies are training people to use AI so they can continue hiring workers, well, I hate to break it to you, but these people that are working with AI are literally training their replacements. It's already started happening. They are already firing artists. They are already telling artists that they're getting hired to train an AI so that way they can inevitably be fired. They have fully automated fast food restaurants. They have fully automated Amazon warehouses. They already have fully automated car manufacturing. Elon Musk did that. The day and age of the workforce is coming to an end. And if you think these multi-billion-dollar companies are going to sit there and keep your job on life support so that way they can keep funneling your living, you've got another thing coming. They will find a way to get rid of you. And that's just the fact of the matter.
Setting it on fire, and it completely fucking torched it. It like incinerated this whole facility. Pretty fucking stupid plan. Extremely dangerous. Could have easily killed people in the warehouse. The fire could have spread outside of the warehouse as well. It's California. California fires, like, that spreads a lot. This could have caused so much more damage, destruction, and death in this like raging inferno that he created here.
Again, thankfully, nobody was injured in that fire. No firefighters or none of the employees. They were all evacuated safely.
So, Nick, we should note you were just listening in on that news conference. That's why we couldn't go right to you. So this employee, a 29-year-old, did they say what he did there at that plant?
It's unclear exactly what he did. What we know is that they house lots.
No, and you're right. I'm not advocating for that. That's what I'm saying. I agree with the thought that goes in behind it. I don't agree with, killing somebody or burning shit down or rioting. I don't agree with that. Never said I agreed with that. And let me tell you why. If you assemble a group of teenagers and you start rioting, what do you think they're going to do? They're going to take away your right to peacefully assemble. If you sit there and threaten CEOs and then you go out and kill them, what do you think's going to happen? They're going to take your ability for freedom of speech away and take away your guns. If you sit here and burn a warehouse down, well, you've just given them a reason to fire all the workers and hire robots. What do you think the outcome is to this? These people that do this are thinking of the small picture. Whenever that guy killed the CEO, the Mandalorian guy killed the CEO, you know what happened? Nothing. The chairman, the board that owns that company, replaced the CEO the next fucking day. You don't solve this by thinking in a narrow space. You got to look at the big picture. And right now, these people are fucking us. Big time.
Of Kimberly-Clark products here. Again, this is a 1.2 million square foot warehouse.
Holy, bro. Damn. Bro, I guarantee you, they could have had 50 fire departments trying to put this out and they weren't going to get anywhere with this. This bitch went up like a damn match.
Here, so very large space filled with products. We know that they load the trucks up and distribute them. We don't know specifically what that man did.
I feel like we have some strong evidence to what that man did. He filmed it himself. I'm surprised it wasn't streamed on Kick. This has become a very common phenomenon where people film or stream themselves committing crimes, in this case, arson. So he made it very clear what he was doing and why. The motive. He was upset with the pay, saying that all they had to do was pay him enough to fucking live, which is a very real problem, something I have yapped about for years, about how so many jobs...
Well, they're going to keep blaming it on COVID, too. COVID was 5 years ago. I want y'all to realize that COVID was 5 years ago now. Maybe even a little bit longer than that. COVID's been done and over with. They've just been using that excuse for so long they don't have anything else.
Now in the country don't actually pay their employees a livable wage. And
it was happening prior to COVID. Don't let these companies tell you that it wasn't. It was. It was already happening prior to COVID.
more and more expensive, it's not like the pay is being risen to try and help them, enable them to live. It is a huge problem. But the solution this guy cooked up in his noodle is not the optimal play, because now all he's going to do is land himself in jail. He's not going to be getting...
You think it's just the employee wages? There's a section of this that y'all ain't thinking about. Y'all think it's just the employee wages. Think about how much money... what do you get if you're a full-time worker? What does the job offer you if you work 40 hours a week and you're classified as a full-time worker? Health insurance. Health insurance is fucking expensive. Every worker that has to have health insurance is more money away from the company. Health insurance. The reason why they make that shit so damn unaffordable in companies is because the more people that are on it, the more it costs the company. It's literally like having 2 extra workers for one person to have health insurance. That's the cost. It's a scam, bro. It's a big circling drain of death is what it is.
Paid there. And on top of that, all of the workers at that warehouse, they are now out of work for who knows how long, and maybe they get canned because of it. I mean, this is a huge warehouse. This is going to take a long time to rebuild and get all that inventory and stuff back. Maybe they just start laying off employees that were working there. So now he has also ruined other people's income on top of that. So it's not exactly like...
You think that was a mistake? Let's peer inside the mind of a radical. If I'm not getting paid a living wage, and I know other people aren't being paid a living wage, well, how can I make other people understand my mentality about this? Well, if I take everybody's jobs away, then maybe they'll realize, or at least some of them will, that it wasn't worth having anyway. Because if you were living paycheck to paycheck prior, and things really didn't change much after you burnt down the building, other than, well, now you're probably going to be homeless now, but maybe someone will come to the realization that instead of a slow decline, it's just accelerated. That's the way a lot of these people think, is that they're trying to open people's eyes to this.
Best plan that he's cooked up here, as shocking as that is to hear that arson didn't save the day. It is an issue. His anger is understandable, but this didn't do anything to solve it. It's not like that this company is all of a sudden going to have a come to Jesus moment like, oh, we didn't know that by underpaying our employees.
A lot of people can't move on. When you're working 40 hours a week at like a place where you're moving stock and shit around, like that warehouse. I used to know a friend that worked at a warehouse like that. If you're not the forklift person and you're like somebody that has to move some of that heavy shit around, bro, you're tired. You know, like, I know that it's easy for, and I'm not trying to be offensive towards people that sit behind a desk, but like, I've worked a job like that. I've worked a job like, for example, the United States Postal Service. I was running packages for like 12 hours a day for a month straight. Like running them. Because the routes were so big that in order to finish them at a reasonable time, bro, I had to run that shit. I'm talking like almost 120 stops with cluster boxes and packages. Like the routes that I would run, we couldn't have the boxed like little tiny fucking postal truck that you see. I had a goddamn moving van, like a big long moving van filled to the brim with packages, like from bottom to fucking top, packages and mail, like crates of mail that would stack taller than me and over like 4 or 5 rows, like just long fucking stacks. When you're being worked literally to death You don't have the energy to try and... I had to quit before I could start trying to find something else. Like, I would get home, I would sit down and just fucking pass out. And then I would get up and do it again hours later. It sucked. That's how everyone's being worked at these jobs. Like, it's never enough. You're always doing 7 different jobs, but you're always being paid the same amount. It's not like a factory job or like a Ford job where you just screwed in a few bolts on a door and then moved it along the assembly line. You're doing the bolts, you're maintaining the machine, you're correcting the belt, you're doing all this other shit for what was originally meant for 5 or 6 different people. That's the problem. And what's crazy is they used to tell you, go to college, get a nice degree or a master's, and you won't have to do this. Now, you've got people with masters and degrees in a market that's flooded with masters and degrees because everyone went to fucking college and took on hundreds of thousands of dollars of student loan debt they'll never be able to pay off, even if they get their dream job. And they're the ones working at McDonald's and assembly lines now. There's a massive, and what's crazy is that even if you file for bankruptcy, that loan sticks. You cannot get rid of it. We have a fucking problem, a massive problem in this country.
It would make them frustrated. But now that an entire 1.2 million square foot warehouse has been burnt down because of our folly, we will change our ways. We now see the light. Our third eye is open. Enlightenment. Time to raise everyone's pay. It's just not going to happen.
Do is pay us enough to live.
Chilling video posted online by...
What? So you're making the B-2 bombers? That's cool. I wonder what that's like to make the B-2 bombers.
The suspect appears to show the moment a massive warehouse fire was deliberately set.
All you had to do was pay us enough to live.
Investigators say the man behind the camera is 29-year-old Shamel Abdul Kareem.
He was believed to be an employee of Kimberly-Clark. However, it is confirmed that he is an employee of NFI Industries, the third-party distributor of Kimberly-Clark.
Officials say he had posted grievances online before igniting the Ontario, California warehouse on fire.
Now, I've actually seen people applauding this, saying that they need to start a GoFundMe ASAP so that way they can donate to him because he's a hero.
You think that's bad? A Sonic car hopper gets paid $2.15. A Sonic car hop person, anytime you go to a Sonic fast food restaurant, ask them how much they make an hour. Don't ask them not what they make on tips. How much do they make an hour? And here's the kicker. If you don't make enough tips to cover I think it's $7.50 an hour in Texas, and you let that happen too many times, they fire you. By the way, if you don't make enough tips to cover $7.50, which is the minimum wage in Texas, they fire you.
He's standing up to capitalism. Finally, enough is enough. We need more of this across the country. That's fucking ridiculous. That's like actual dangerous, stupid brain. Like, people are saying,
thanks for the 67 joules.
Crying over all this lost product from, billion-dollar corporation, that kind of thing. I don't know how people can be so, out of tune with reality.
I worked at Sonic for about a year. I have a friend that worked at Sonic for 5 years. He moved up into management. He was a car hop. I asked everybody that was a car hop. I was a cook, so I got paid minimum wage. I actually got paid above that. They hire, Google it. Hell, what am I doing? I'm wasting my time. Google it. The starting wage is dirt, dude. It's dirt. And you have to make in tips up to $7.50 an hour, otherwise you get fired. Google it. I don't have to hide anything, bro. I worked there. I know what it's like. Like, what the fuck? And they don't really make that much in tips. You know why? Because it gets taxed. So a lot of that money that they make usually ends up getting taken away or distributed in some way, shape, or form. So, like, at the end of the day, and that's if they have a good day. You realize that's if they have a good day. So it's, and a lot of times it doesn't even have to do with how good of a, like, I've seen it myself. How, like, it doesn't matter how good of a worker you are. Sometimes people are just assholes. You're going to have bad days. And the fact that your entire livelihood, your job revolves around the generosity of other people is fucking disgusting. Your job should be required to pay that shit.
It's not even about like lost products or anything. It's about how easily people could have died in that, how it could have spread way beyond just that warehouse, and how this doesn't even really affect the company all that much. They have insurance.
It shouldn't. You're right, it shouldn't. It's dog shit. But these companies still get away with it.
You know who this actually affects? Is the employees that are most likely going to be out of work here while this facility is out of commission and under maintenance, so they're going to be
And I agree with that. Just because it sucks doesn't mean you get to burn down a warehouse. I'm sorry. That's not how it works.
Income, and he just threw his whole life away for this, and it's not going to do anything to actually help people get...
And he's right. This is the same thing like the Mandaloni guy. Went and killed the CEO. The CEO was replaced the next day by the chairman. You burn down a warehouse, well, you've just made a lot of people homeless, jobless, and they're just going to rebuild it and it'll be back up in a few years. What have you done? You've done nothing. You haven't stemmed this problem. You haven't fixed this problem. You've only exacerbated it and made it harder for the everyday person. This is not the fix or solution to that. You can't really look inside the mind of a radical, and you can't really reason with somebody that's going to burn down an entire facility because they're not making minimum wage. They're not making enough. It's just not what you should be doing.
A livable wage from this company or anything like that. It's just reckless, dangerous, jeopardizing tons of people's lives and safety and the area around him. This could have caused a huge fucking problem. Like I said,
it did cause a huge fucking problem. It did. There is no could. It did.
Yeah. Wildfires spread wider than Kash Patel's butt cheeks. Like, in that area, this could have easily spiraled way out of control, way beyond just that warehouse as well. Like, this is just not something anyone should be like. Anyway, there is something other people have pointed out
he probably went on a long rant.
As like a very surprising element to the fire itself, that a warehouse of this size housing this much supply, apparently this accounts for like 3% of West Coast volume for toilet paper in particular. Damn. From what I was reading. I don't know if that's like confirmed or how true that is, but it is a huge facility that houses a lot of paper product. And one thing people were noting is that the fire suppression system didn't really do a whole lot to stop this. And
it's just another corner that a corporation cut. Like, big surprise, the fire suppression system didn't do anything whenever you're cutting corners anytime you can. Just imagine if there were people in there that were trapped and the fire suppression system didn't work and they burned alive in there. Think about that. You expect a corporation that's willing to cut costs and corners on fire suppression systems to give a flying fuck about your job? Come on. Are we really doing this right now? Are we really doing this?
I was doing a bit of digging because they definitely have a fire suppression system. I don't know if they like maintain it, like maybe it was malfunctioning from what I read. Apparently,
how many of y'all worked at jobs where they're supposed to maintain something and they don't do it? Like a fire extinguisher, something as simple as just calling the fire department to have them come out and look at it. How many of y'all have actually made a call like that or seen somebody make a call or have fire department show up to check fire extinguishers and shit like they're supposed to do on it's either a 3, 6, or 12-month basis? I don't think I've ever worked a job where that's happened. And think about it. If they're not going to do that for safety, it's completely free to do that, by the way, at a job. It is completely free to have the fire department show up and look over your fire extinguishment systems. It is a service for the fire department that is given to the public. It's free. You pay for it with your taxes.
Was working, but because he started multiple fires in multiple locations, it just wasn't effective at stopping the spread.
Well, how's it going,
that's how
Darlin'
he was
Winters?
able to get so out of control. And also, apparently the alarms were working because they were able to get the employees out, so I do feel like the systems were...
If you're and yeah, you're right to an extent. You are right to an extent. It is the fire setter's fault. But there is a level of accountability for the people maintaining and running that facility to make sure their workers are safe. For example, there are a lot of standard operating procedures when it comes to firefighter safety. If you have a captain, like it's always buddy system. 2 in, 2 out. 2 into the fire, 2 out of the fire. That's how you run a fire ground. If you have a captain that is standing outside the door to a house and you got a fire inside the house that's going and getting it, or for that matter, in the house in general, and he doesn't follow you into that house, you don't go into that fucking house. Period. You know why? Bro's not following procedure, and you get trapped in there. Do you think that sorry son of a bitch is going to go in there and get you? No. He's going to let you burn. It's his responsibility to back you on that line. Or have somebody back you on that line. You have to hold the companies accountable for this. If you have that many paper products in a warehouse, there is supposed to be a fire suppression system that keeps that shit from spread. If you look at that building is a fucking match head. Nothing about that was suppressed. The entire building, from one side to the other, the entire the steel beam system was on fire. Not a single fucking suppression system worked in that entire facility. You have to hold these companies account. Just imagine if there was somebody in that goddamn facility that was trapped in there, they would have died. Whether it had been the fire or the roof collapsing on them. It's not just the what if one of the truck's engines caught on fire and it spread to the facility? Because it's got loading docks for 18-wheelers. What if someone was just smoking and it accidentally caught the building on fire? What if it wasn't a malicious reason and it caught on fire? It happens all the time with outlets. It's not a, oh, what about the fire? What about the protection for its workers? Where was that at? Like, how did it fail so badly? That he lit fires all up and down their aisles and not a single suppression system kicked in to put that fire out. That's a fucking problem.
Functioning how they were supposed to. It's just must have started a lot of fires that overwhelmed whatever system they have there. Or maybe they...
Look, he set a fire here. He set a fire here. He set a fire down there. Where was the suppression system? That's a lot of space. That's a lot of space right here. That's a lot. This should have been simple shit for it to put out. Where was the water? Where was anything?
All you had to do was pay us enough to live.
I hear it, but it's not doing shit. Why is this kid acting like he knows a single thing about fire prevention? Let me tell you why, Einstein. It's because I'm a 31-year-old firefighter. I fought fires for a living. I made $67,000 a year doing it. That's why. I went to college to become one. I've fought fires before. I've skeeted water off of a fucking ladder to put out a fire at 3 a.m. I've put out numerous car fires. I've put out house fires. That's why. No, it wasn't 67. It was like 8,000. It was like $8,000.
Enough to fucking live. All you had to do was pay us enough to live. There goes your inventory.
Look at that. Where's the water? Where's the water? Look at that.
All you had to do was pay us enough to live.
Where's the water? Where's the water? Look at that. All the way down. It's all the way down there now, too. Hello? Where's the water? Where's the water?
Your inventory.
This is a Kimberly-Clark warehouse that apparently served 50 million people. It was located in California, and a disgruntled 29-year-old employee...
Like, it's crazy. A fire suppression system, if done in the right ways, can put out a fire. If you go right now to your local Sonic, and don't do this because you're a fucking idiot, and you take a cup of ice and you dump it in the fryers, the Ansel system that is above those fryers will put it out. That's what it's called. It's called an Ansel system. It sprays foam. You can come up with every excuse in the world for that system to not do more than allow an entire fucking warehouse to light on fire and burn to the ground. But when it comes down to it, if somebody was trapped in there and they died, it'd be a whole different scenario. Instead of being reactive, why don't you try to be more proactive before someone dies? And you know what you do? If it's 30 feet in the air, you make sure that the piping can support more water, and you make sure that the sprinkler system can spray more water. You know what puts out fire? Gallons per minute. GPM. That's what puts out fire. More water, less fire.
Banned on Twitch over essentially wrong thing.
Anytime you look up and you see the GPMs, or if you look up a fire hydrant, each fire hydrant has a different color depending on how much GPM it does for that area. Green is usually the highest gallons per minute GPM for that area. If you crack open a green hydrant and you start pulling water from it to a fire truck, it's going to take the water away from everybody else in that area to that truck. Each fire hydrant you look up, it's going to have a gallons per minute GPM ratio. That's what that means. Look up the fire hydrants in your neighborhood. You'll probably figure out where the fire department's going to crack into. If you ever see a trash bag over a fire hydrant, don't take it off. The fire department did that because the damn thing's not working. Don't take it off.
Which is already backfiring for Twitch.
They usually go through the neighborhoods and check every hydrant every couple months. If you see a black bag over that damn hydrant, don't fuck with it. Leave it alone.
As he took to
Even if somebody walked up and put a trash bag on it, leave it the fuck alone. Because the thing is there's nothing worse than when you open up a hydrant and that bitch is dry. Rather be safe than sorry. They'll find another hydrant. I promise you there's more.
4 million subscriber YouTube account.
Okay, let's move on from that. So, Asmongold being suspended is bullshit, obviously. So here we go.
Desmond Gould got banned on Twitch over essentially wrongthink, which is already backfiring for Twitch, as he took to his 4 million subscriber YouTube account to explain.
I got suspended last night on Twitch. I end my stream and I get a message and it says that my account has been suspended for 7 days because of hateful conduct. I said that I didn't give a about the opinions of third worlders, and then particularly in the thing that they reference, I was referring to illiterate goat herders from Afghanistan.
Again, the way this looks out in the public is not a United States.
The opinions of third worlders don't matter. Like, I don't care what some illiterate goat herder thinks in Afghanistan. It doesn't matter.
In the context of those people believing AI-generated videos about Iran winning the war and nuking Israel off the map. Gentlemen, I would like to confirm that I am 100% right.
Yeah.
And you
Remember, anytime you say something and you've got a lot of people pissed off at you or trying to ban you, you're usually right. I mean, that's just a fact. Well, unless you're, like, actually crazy. But, like, you're usually right.
You don't either.
Especially if you're not advocating for violence. If you're not advocating for violence, then you're usually right.
Neither do they, because if Twitch cares about their opinions, why don't they apply Afghanistan's opinions to women on Twitch? That would be interesting, wouldn't it?
As Asmon's referencing this article, explaining since 2021...
Since regaining power in August 2021, the Taliban has implemented a system of systemic oppression against women in Afghanistan, widely described as a gender apartheid? Over 70 degrees have effectively erased women from public, like banning. Over 70 decrees have effectively erased women from public life, banning education above 6th grade, barring most employment, restricting movement without a male guardian, and imposing strict dress codes.
They have over 70 decrees essentially erasing women from public life, banning education over 6th grade, employment, Twitch has, as in the world of liberal censorship, simply saying something is far worse than actually doing it. As this isn't about what he actually meant, it's about some mod hovering over the red button, patiently praying for an excuse to silence their enemy.
I'm not sorry, I'm right, I said nothing wrong, and nothing I said was against the terms of service. Beyond that, do you even imagine a world where somebody that says that they don't care about what a fat American thinks about the Middle East, can you imagine that this person ever gets suspended?
No, of course not.
He has some woke qualities, but he's nowhere near as woke as Francis. Francis was a socialist. This motherfucker is an American. And I think Americans are gross. Americans do...
Coming from the same guy that says that America deserved 9/11. Reads a terrorist manifesto on stream, gets suspended on his 1 day off. Don't you just love it, boys?
Do not have a understanding of the world.
And so why am I getting suspended? It's more third worldist morality logic conversion that basically is being used to silence me for an...
And that's exactly what the fuck it... That is exactly what it is. It is not protecting anybody. It is suppression and silencing. That's absolutely 100% what it is.
Entire week.
And this might have been the most recent instance of hypocrisy, but definitely wasn't the worst. Since if you're popular enough, you can drive dangerously on stream and get less of a ban than Zach. You can literally toss your cat and Twitch sits this one out, which is in line with the other high-profile animal incidents on Twitch. Not only that, but the left can call for the actual ending of politicians.
If you cared about Medicare fraud or Medicaid fraud, you would Rick Scott.
Or arguably worse than Asmongold's comment.
We have endured suffering under the communist regime, and
you can't forget about him. No, that was Frogan. Never mind.
Okay, you, dude. I mean, seriously, you, old lady. Shut the up, you stupid fucking idiotic old lady with your stupid fucking gamer headset. Who is you harder, America or Ho Chi Minh? Suck my dick, old lady. God,
Jesus Christ, Hassan, bro.
Damn, dude. Yo, this refugee, okay? Seriously.
As if they didn't have double standards, they wouldn't have any standards at all. But aside from putting people and pets in danger, I want the platform to permit any take, as vile as it may be, as long as it's allowed evenly. If Asmongold doesn't like...
If you want to ban somebody, you have to distribute that ban, like, non-biasly. If you're gonna apply the rules, apply them equally. Enough of this bullshit. Every time they do this, man, it's like they genuinely just don't care. Seriously.
Foreign illiterates, people should know. If Hassan thinks Vietnamese girls that have inconvenient information on how communism works should inhale his frontal, viewers should know that's who he is. But that's the problem with selective moderation on these tech platforms. It's never going to be applied evenly, as the left knows without mass censorship, they simply couldn't exist. I had the same experience on my side.
Again, you can say almost whatever you want. Don't use that. Don't use that word. It's racist. It was towards the beginning. Is it this guy? This word. Don't use that word. Don't call people snowflakes, man.
Live stream channel where a video covering a riot randomly got
it's racist, bro. Don't use that word.
Suppressed as sexual content. There was nothing even remotely close to that, but upon appeal and
yeah, it's racist slang for white people. If you don't know what it is, it's also against TOS on YouTube. That's the reason why I couldn't pull it back up. Don't use that word. It's bad.
Human review, they confirmed it indeed included it, and after reaching out to someone else in the system, they looked into it and said, oh no, it was because of curse words. But that label never got removed, and the channel's growth has never been the same since. All because some human moderator didn't like what I was doing, so decided to apply.
You could say it isn't all you want, but the fact of the matter is that you can't say it on YouTube. That's just how it is. And if you can't, if you have and you've gotten away with it, it's just a matter of time before the system catches you. Like,
what's likely the worst label for removal. Not because I was violating the rule, but because what I believe was just making up reasons to suppress you. The same thing just happened to Asmongold, but at least he's already hedging his bets by diversifying his stream.
I mean, and here's the annoying thing, right? Is like, well, if Trump nukes Iran, which seems like that's getting more likely every day.
It's not a double standard. You can't say the N-word. It's not a double. It's actually, they enforce that shit heavily. Like they do. They're very, very particular about what you say. Like that. There's a reason why Asmon is able to say whatever he wants when he's not live streaming to YouTube. I've got to be it's YouTube. YouTube is probably the best platform for equal, never mind.
then I'm gonna have to go live on just go live on Kick and Rumble, right? Maybe on YouTube too. I prefer just to do Kick and Rumble. It's a copyright thing, right? It's a confusing, content creator reason. But and then we'll continue uploading videos. And if something big happens, don't worry, I'll be there, and you'll have a way to watch me, and it'll be all back to usual. But I would like to take at least a little bit of time and maybe fix a little bit of things in my life and just relax a little bit.
Now, I personally hope he takes the week off. Just relaxes
damn, Beast Boy got
comes
coffee.
back as a Chad, Gucci'd out in a mansion.
Fuck, bro, that looks crazy. Wait a minute, hold on. Asman, you slacking, bro. Hold on. Bro, why does he look like Jack? He looks like Jacksepticeye.
Just to see Hassan try to argue why when Zach does it, it's bad. But the more important aspect is how he recently started multi-streaming to Kick.
You can say it, you just can't say it as an inference to somebody. If you just say it, that's different than just say it. If you called somebody that, or if you are emphasizing that, well, I'm going to report you because you're just being annoying. And number two, if you're too much of a pussy to call somebody that because you're going to get reported, which by the way isn't being a pussy, it's called following rules, if you must know. And that's fine. He can say it as long as he's not saying it at somebody. Because if I just say snowflake, that doesn't mean anything. But if I call somebody that becomes a problem. It's
just started to get his Rumble channel afloat on top of his 4 million subscriber YouTube channel and his 1 million subscriber clips page, which every single day, every single clip gets over 1 million views. It seems loosely related, but honestly may be the main reason he got hit so hard only recently, as
I stream everywhere, all at once.
Gold in 2026 has the 6th biggest growth for right-leaning channels, but is the only one that gathers most of his audience on Twitch. And if he's slowly turning Twitch viewers to Kick viewers during the continuing trend of viewership collapse, with even streamers slowly leaving the platform, they're faced with a difficult decision of, do we continue to slowly lose viewership outside the carefully controlled bubble of Amazon? Or do we cut—
I don't understand why Twitch doesn't look at YouTube and come to the realization that people are leaving in mass droves away from Twitch. Twitch is systematically dismantling and solidifying their future as McDonald's employees. I don't know what the fuck they're doing at Twitch. But if you guys don't start taking some advice from the bigger people around you, like Kick and YouTube, y'all will be out of business. Like, the fact is that whenever you're growing in mass on a place like YouTube for right-wing stuff, because the atmosphere is shifting, you systematically banning people off your platform that feel the way they feel about their country isn't going to solve your problem. It's going to make less and less people use your platform because you're going to continue to build this reputation of banning people biasly, and nobody's going to want to stream to your platform. Nobody's going to want to go to your platform because their streamer might just one day get banned off of it. Like, that's the massive problem with Twitch as a whole, is that they just won't stop doing this. If you're going to enforce the rules, enforce them equally.
Losses at once, all of Asmon's millions of fans immediately migrating away, just to stop the slow expansion of his influence. As his rival Hassan can poke fun at Asmongold's punishment, but doesn't detract from the fact that even his puff piece has him looking bizarre. He can spend his time trying to explain why he looks this way.
This has shoulder pads. Like, this isn't... I've worn this before on stream.
But now, not
why the fuck are you wearing a hoodie with shoulder pads? What? Why? Why does a hoodie have shoulder pads? What? Why?
This has shoulder pads. Like, this is...
Bro, you trying to, like, cosplay a Super Saiyan or something with those big-ass shoulder pads on? Like, what the fuck you doing? Hello?
I've warned this before on stream.
But now, not only is the right attacking Democrats for affiliating with him, even deep left CNN is denouncing the insane things he said.
Quote, it doesn't matter if effing happened on October 7th. Like, that doesn't change the dynamic for me. And Hassan Piker is excusing sexual violence by Hamas terrorists.
The issue is that the Democratic Party has been infiltrated by these people that have come from these third worlds and want to change our culture to suit their behavior. For example, when the BBC went to Britain, or not Britain, I think it was UK or Britain, it was somewhere over there, and talked about how dogs were being catered to too much in restaurants and areas. These people don't want to assimilate with the culture they're in. They want to take it over. In Canada, they already are taking people's guns away. These people aren't trying to assimilate. They're trying to take over your culture. It's colonialization. Like they're colonization. They're trying to colonize your culture and take it over, and then use the laws and the things like the Constitution to control what you're doing. It happened a lot whenever Kirk was killed, or whenever, actually a better example is the Minneapolis riots. Whenever you criticized the Minneapolis riots, they cherry picked out of the amendment, I think it's the First Amendment, what they wanted to say to enable their ability to continue rioting. Like, and what's happening now is that true Democrats are separating themselves from people that align with Hassan. And the ones that align with Hassan and that agree with what Hassan is saying, and a lot of y'all know what he says and thinks about a lot of stuff, because I've said it. You're figuring out really quickly who is for American people and actual Democrats, and who is this new colonizing party. Because when you say that you're with Hassan, somebody that has read with a big smile on his face and a chat filled with heart emotes, a manifesto to a terrorist organization, to get a 1-day suspension on his 1 day off, it becomes very clear and apparent who is here for who.
Terrorists. And here's what Piker said about the horrors of September 11th, 2001.
America deserved 9/11, dude. I'm saying.
As Twitch's war over politics has been over, viewers that used to like Hassan until he probably shocked his dog or was watching big booba Twitch streamers before realizing how pathetic it is. They suddenly have more time to give Asmongold a chance, realizing he's just a regular guy like them and nothing like what the left paints him as. And now their own pipeline has guided their escape from the left's carefully curated bubble of Twitch, Reddit, and the mainstream media, as Asmongold doubles down over his ban, emboldening everybody else.
You know why Asmon is so relatable? You know why I'm so relatable? It's because the things that I talk about, I've lived through. Asmon was just as dirt poor as me. That's the issue. Whenever you have somebody like Hassan, who has lived in privilege his whole life, that went to polo parties on a fucking horse when he was growing up, you can't relate to somebody like that. What you can relate to is being so goddamn poor you can't keep the goddamn lights on or have basic television or water. You know why? Because I guarantee you everybody in the world has had to deal with that. And you know what we all agree with? It fucking sucks. It sucks. And nobody should have to go through it.
To do the same.
Let me talk about, really how I feel about this. Do I give a f*** about the opinions of a bunch of third worlders in regards to what my country should do? Absolutely not. I do not. You shouldn't. They shouldn't give a f*** about what I think about their country. Because why would I take somebody's opinion that is from a hole in these countries? And by the way, these are holes. Many of these countries are And don't let anybody teach you or tell you that, oh, it's America's
and they're
fault.
like that by design. When a communist party takes over a country like Cuba and they push for fuck's sake, communism propaganda in books in the education system, it's like that by design. They want these people to hate America and Western culture because of the fact that they're the opposing factor. I mean, if it's not obvious, like, for the people that don't understand this, you're probably in the wrong chat, because I'm not going to baby bird every single piece of information for the most part. Sometimes, like, I can go in detail, but we're just not going to have that kind of time. That's why I kind of like feed snippets and hope that you guys will go off and look it up yourselves, because there's only so much time I can dedicate to it. And I want to talk about the time thing. My goal is to eventually hire an editor, which, by the way, is going to be a ways away. And then I'll probably stream for longer. That's the goal, is to inevitably hire an editor so that way I can stream for 2 or 3 extra hours a day and have them do all that shit eventually. But as of right now, it ain't going to happen. So...
No, it's not. If Twitch thinks Afghanistan has such great opinions that should be listened to, maybe they should apply Afghanistan's opinions to women on Twitch. How about that? But they won't, because they also agree with me too. I just was the one that said it, but everybody thinks this. And I have nothing, by the way. Oh, I said illiterate. They have 37% literacy. Flip a coin, I'm right. And if you're a guy from Afghanistan, you're watching, I don't know, I'm sure we've got a number of them. We've got a lot of people that watch the show. Listen, man, I'm not talking about you, but you know that there's some idiots in your country that are morons of talking about them. And by the way, we have those same third worldists, we have those same,
Make sure it's the right person. I don't care enough about what you had to say to even read your message. You weren't even worth my time. Bye-bye, pissant.
Being a third worlder and being a third worldist, yes, it's a geography, but it's more importantly a mindset.
As getting banned has only amplified that message. Maybe 40,000 people saw it live, but the ban had people wondering why. Rumors flied it was over showing horse parts, but after his YouTube explanation receiving over 1.7 million views, his Twitch post hitting nearly 10 million in under a day.
Oh my god, Asman! Holy shit!
They've only highlighted their hypocrisy, reminding everybody how insanely stupid
Yeah, you remember we covered that as well? We covered the TwitchCon stuff that happened to Emaru. Y'all remember that? Some sick shit right there,
6
bro.
months have been.
They
But
tried to silence her too because of it.
Remain optimistic and not give up on them yet. Twitter, becoming X, almost immediately made them the de facto platform of free speech, becoming the #1 news app across the globe. It seems Asmongold is somewhat expecting his appeal to premature.
You know what I love about World War I and World War II? We might have been 2 years late, but you know what happened the second that the United States of America got involved? It ended. But you don't want to talk about that, huh? So what is it that you have a problem with that I'm saying? Because the only victims that I see currently are people like you. Because the majority agrees with what I'm saying. Whether you like it or not, you can cry about it, bitch about it, moan about it. At the end of the day, there's a reason why my channel's growing and somebody like Hassan's is sinking. So what is it that I'm saying where you've got to use a racial slur and call people victims? And talk about World War I and World War II, yet the minute that the United States got involved, it was over. Like, the second that we got involved, we ended that shit. They cried and bitched and complained for America to join World War I and World War II. Japan had to bomb us for World War II. Like, what do you mean, bro? They wanted us to join. We didn't want to do it. Nothing? Oh man, what a pussy. Sound like the only victim here is the one getting pulled up front and center.
Really end his ban, and since Twitch
Remember,
invited
boys,
me,
you want to act like a victim? You want to act like a little roach motherfucker? We gonna treat you like one. Then we gonna ban you.
On the platform, knowing full well who I am, these are all signs that Amazon may start to put profit over propaganda. So if you appreciate my concise, light order commentary,
W decoy. Okay. So now we got Fox talking about it, boys. What a day that Asman shit blows up so much that we got Fox News taking a fat dump on Hassan.
Look, I know you don't watch MSNBC, now known as MS Now, and for good reason. And whenever I play clips, a lot of you say, well, if I wanted to watch that network, I would tune into that network. But I got to share with you some clips because, for one, it's public education, and because, number two,
you have to keep in mind that every time I pull one of these people up and confront them, it's educating you guys and you don't even realize it. I am making you guys think about what you should say when you see these comments or you meet these people in real life. You don't even think about it until I pull somebody up. In a way, I'm educating you as to what your rebuttals should be to somebody that says something like what he said or what somebody else said. We do this if you're new here, please sub to the channel. Like the stream. We're here every single day, 8 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Check out the channel membership. We have a channel membership. I haven't said this at all today. W constant viewers, keep showing up. I'm not going anywhere. And whenever I can eventually get an editor, I'm going to be streaming for longer, like I said earlier. So, you know, the more of you that come and join the stream every day, and the more of you that comment on videos and like comments on videos or dislike comments on videos and like the, you know, and comment on everything and talk and chit chat amongst yourself and do all the good things that y'all have been doing so far. And the more you spread the word, the more people will come. So just keep that in mind.
trust me, they give you some gems.
It could not be more tragically clear now that a whole civilization has already died. Nearly 250 years of the American presidency, all of that
You should be scared when you hear a news person say this. You have to keep in mind, Ilhan Omar is trying to get rid of the Department of Homeland Security. You have places like Canada taking away people's guns. And now you have some place like MS Now talking about how the United States presidency has caused a lot of death. Remember a couple weeks ago I was talking about this is the end, this might be the end game, boys? Every day that I get on and I see something or hear something that's like this, I feel worse and worse about the fact that I might be right.
whole civilization forming the presidency died with the elevation of Donald Trump to the presidency a second time.
Wait, so this civilization is dead? But I'm here, you're here, some 300 million of us are here. And yet when President Trump speaks hyperbolically about the end of a civilization overseas in Iran, critics suggest he's going to kill 92 million, but by their own standards.
Who the heck are you talking to? I'm confused. I don't know if you're talking to me or somebody else. Who you think communism just hates America, LOL. It does. whenever they had the No Kings protest, they had people with the sickle and hammer, communist flags, preaching that they hated, America and fucking Trump. Like, of course they do. Do you really want to live under communism? Communism sucks. No, it's a mindset. Communism is a mindset. It's not just an economic system. You can be a communist and not push communist propaganda. But the issue is that they can't help themselves because they know if they don't push their propaganda, their entire economy is going to flatline. That's the problem with it. Why do you think Iran is the terrorists that are holding themselves over the Iranian people are keeping them poor and illiterate? Why do you think it's the same things happening in Russia, where Russia's trying to take more land? Communism it's not stable enough. Now, like a kingdom, maybe, but the issue with the kingdom is that you can have a good king for 60 years, and then you get a bad king, and that usually leads to the death of the kingdom. Killing your countrymen to maintain your seat of power never works. They have tried this for thousands of years. They have tried, it didn't work with slavery to try and keep these people illiterate whenever they weren't allowed to read or write. It doesn't work. You have to maintain a balance of keeping your kingdom or your people or your fellow countrymen happy in order to stay in your seat. You have to be willing, whenever you get elected or put into a place of power, to maintain a steady amount of workflow and change bills and laws at a constant, steady pace the entire time. And that's the problem we have. When you got congressmen going on vacation instead of sitting down on the Senate floor 365 days a year, 12 hours a day, changing bills and laws individually to help people in America, you're asking for trouble. You can only maintain your place of power for as long as you're willing to cater to the public. That's a fact. And no kingdom, no government has been able to do that effectively. Even America's only been around for like 200 years. Like, it's just not possible.
Definition of what a civilization is. Of course, we know that was not what was meant by President Trump.
It'll never be possible as long as you keep getting rich people. That is the one falter that this government has. Seats. You can maintain a seat in Congress for 60 years. No. You want new people, fresh people that could be ran into the ground for like 4 years, and then they change seats. You get fresh people in there. You don't have to worry as much about like profiting, them making like insider trading and stuff, because the thing is you can get Joe to take this money from this corporation and pass bills, but you're not going to get Joe's son to do that if he doesn't want to. That's the thing. Like,
they know that's not what was meant by President Trump. But they can't even get sane when the Secretary of War says our motto, our mantra in the military is leave no man behind.
That is, of course, the old school version of the idea back when only men flew American military planes. That could have been a woman they were trying to rescue.
How's it going, Allison?
It might be a woman the next time.
You see, leave no man behind, not gender inclusive, according to MS Now. Today, Vice President J.D. Vance encouraged us all, though, not to get cynical, not to trust and distrust every institution. He gave us a reality check on blackpilling.
There's way too much, I didn't like this thing that the vice president said.
You know what's so awesome about J.D. Vance? Is J.D. Vance solidified my vote when he went down to Minneapolis talked to the police, completely ignored the mayor and the governor, and got Minneapolis back in line, and then went out and talked in the press conference, and every argument those fucking people asked him, he knew about, and he had already came to a universal decision in his head what he wanted to say to that. J.D. Vance would be a damn good president, because he would be, you need a president similar to Donald Trump that's transparent, that doesn't care what the forced ideology is, that's going to break through the bullshit, break through the slop, and say the way it needs to be said. I don't want some fucking weak pussy bitch that's going to get behind the microphone and cry like a fucking 2-year-old the minute they have to talk about a couple downed soldiers. I want somebody that's going to stand behind that podium, stand strong, and know about what the fuck they're talking about. That's what I want. You got to make the hard decisions that will cost America's lives, then make it worth my fucking time. Give me something to fight for.
Or I didn't like this thing that the president did, and I'm going to completely check out. We call that blackpilling in the United States of America, and blackpilling is how you give power to the forces that are trying to destroy what our ancestors built. We need to take power back from those people and build.
Marco Rubio looking pretty good too. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I'm not gonna lie. If I see both of them on the ballot booth, man, I don't know. On the voting booth, I don't know, man. That's rough. That's rough.
Of institutions that can actually save our societies.
Blackpilling is cynicism. It's sneering. It's losing hope. It's losing inspiration.
And it deserves to. They did it for 4 years, probably a little bit longer than that, but it really took off the past 4 or 5 years. It is, well, actually, it's more like 6. It's long overdue for, it's just a different version of cancel culture. Well, how dare you be proud of your country because of what it was built on? Bitch, do you understand that every country in the world is the way it is because of some... Like, look at the Great Wall of China. That bitch is built in slaves. It's literally got slaves in the mortar. What you on about, bro? Fuck out of here. Every country in the world that is the way it is today is because of a war. Fuck out of here.
This country, and there's reason at times to...
You know what you get out of war? Slaves. You know what slaves do? They're forced to die for whatever the person in charge wants. Every country in the world.
Sentiments. Perhaps one of those is an anti-American far-left commentator who is named Hassan Piker. He appeared at a campaign event in Michigan yesterday with Democrat Senate candidate Abdul El Sayed. The candidate was pressed on Piker's previous anti-Semitic, controversial views.
Abdul, are there any views that Hassan holds that you disavow while you're with him right now?
I'm not here to disavow people's views. I'm here to have a conversation about how to get money out of politics, put money back in pockets, and pass Medicare for all. That's the conversation that folks are here to listen to. This whole gotcha game, platform policing, cancel culture, I thought we were over it.
He dodged that question because he knows the answer. It's not cancel culture to ask, why do you stand next to a man that calls for an open revolution, a communist revolution against the United States? Piker has said a world of outrageous and unacceptable statements.
America deserved 9/11, dude. It. I'm saying it.
We deserved 9/11, says Hassan Piker. And then a candidate needs to answer for why he stands next to this man. Sayed is...
You know why he stands next to him? Because he believes the same thing. Isn't it obvious? He thinks the same thing. Is it like, well, you're not running a smear campaign on this guy. You're not going to, because he's being honest. If he says that he aligns with Hassan Piker, he is taking that ideology. That's what you need to be thinking about. You need to be thinking about how bad it's going to be if someone like this gets in charge. That's what you need to be thinking about. Stop trying to smear these people. It doesn't work. Think about how bad it's going to be if somebody like that gets in charge. That's what you need to be worried about.
Using Piker, he says, to gain more attention.
I'm not talking down to young people.
I'm talking specifically to the challenges they face. Part of the reason that it's so important for me to be engaged with somebody like Hassan is because he's talking to these folks every single day. And if we're serious about building a politics that unlocks for the folks who feel locked out, you've got to be serious about going to the places where they naturally are.
There's a ton of people with big audiences. Is Abdul Al-Sayed going to appear on every platform? Will he go and meet Alex Jones?
Man, what a nasty little worm. Ooh, what a nasty little worm, bro. Hold on. Wait a minute. Is it dark in mommy's basement, idiot? What a nasty little worm. Oof. Anti-American. I love America. America's the best country in the world. We got the biggest and baddest ass military in the world. We got a big black flying Dorito that is worth more than most third world shitholes GDP that can bomb and send you back to the Stone Age. We got the fucking, we're the richest country in the world. I love being an American. America's the best place in the world to live. Why do you think all these people trying to come here and take our homes and take our cars and import them into their country? Shit, we the best country in the world, brother. And anybody got a problem with that, you in the wrong chat.
He says instead he has a message for all the critics who claim and call him a radical. I'm talking about Hassan Piker.
The last 2.5 years, they smeared people like myself and people like yourselves and said that we were radical, said that we were wrong. And yet, we persevered and we understood. The violence that was taking place, these smear campaigns that started shortly after October 7 were obviously a lot more consequential, a lot more successful back then. But now I can easily say them because I'm no longer alone. Neither are you.
There you go. That's his message to you, to America. Fox News contributor Mary Catherine Ham joins me now. You know, the thing is, Mary Catherine, I'm gonna tell you this and everybody watching home today. Today I'm surrounded by high school students. I've got high school students with me today on the Will Cain Show. Almost to a man and to a woman, to be gender inclusive and appreciate Lawrence O'Donnell. They knew the name Hassan Piker. I don't assume everybody watching does know Hassan Piker, but they should know the name of the politicians and who they choose to stand next to. And I'm not gonna listen to somebody go, oh, this is about cancel culture. No, we wanna know. Do you?
I think Hassan Piker doesn't. That's the thing. I don't think Hassan is as bad a person as everyone likes to give him credit for. I think Hassan Piker is audience captured. He has cultivated this mass group of audience that he has to agree with, or otherwise they will literally try to eat him alive, I think. Genuinely. Like, you know, like after Palestine and Israel was solved, his audience immediately turned to the dog shocking thing. Like, you see firsthand what these people are capable of and willing to do. And that's the thing, is that Hassan knows this as well, and he's probably terrified. Honestly. He's probably terrified of his audience.
Agree? And do you stand with Hassan Piker?
Yeah, I've watched him for a long time because it's nice to know what the other side is doing, and he's very clear about what he believes, and El-Sayed is making very clear how far left he represents on the flank of this three-way primary for Michigan Senate for Democrats right now. And it's the question is, how far will he pull the rest of the party while he's doing that? But just to point out how bad this is, Hassan Piker has said many gross things, including, as you said, saying that we deserve 9/11, making excuses for sexual violence in October 7th, etc. But just less than a month ago, there was a Hezbollah-inspired attack by a guy who had two Hezbollah brothers in Lebanon on a Michigan synagogue with a preschool. Yes. Now, El-Sayed is campaigning in Michigan.
And these are the same people that want you to feel bad because a Patriot missile hit a school. Remember that. They want to use morality to suppress your voice. You just have to think about what they've done. And it all falls apart. That's the thing. Don't even know where the Patriot missile came from. But we're going to sit here and cry about it. The minute Trump says that he's going to bomb bridges and bomb nuclear power plant, or not nuclear power plants, but power facilities, they immediately bus over all these people to stand on the bridges and stand around the power plants. Come on, guys. Come on. You really going to continue to use the moral high ground whenever you're literally building it on you're building it on glass, not even the good glass, like standard single pane glass. What are you doing?
With a man who says Hezbollah's flag is his favorite because it's dope. That is what we're talking about. That's how blatant they are about it. And he's going to say he doesn't have to disavow any of it miles away.
Again, it's not because of a moral grandstanding. He is saying that he aligns with Hassan Piker fully. And that's why he is saying he's not going to disavow it. He's telling you that he likes the fact that 9/11 happened to America and that America deserved it. That's what he's saying. This is a statement. And if you're too goddamn stupid to see it, we got a big problem in this country. It's a statement. He is standing by everything Hassan has said.
A Hezbollah-inspired jihadist tried to kill a bunch of people in a synagogue, and thank goodness was unsuccessful doing that.
Where do they go from here? If this
Those are his constituents, or would be.
Yeah. But if this isn't a bridge too far, I'm curious now what the next bridge is that might just be too far. Where is the bridge too far for Democrats? Mary Catherine Him.
Man, you gotta be on some special kind of fucking fart sniffing or huffing if you think that Iran is winning. So you upset that Iran is winning. What is the point of the war? Man. You see, you was doing weird shit up until that. That kind of solidified it. So in what way is Iran winning? You've been chirping a lot, so I expect you to have an answer for that. I certainly hope you have an answer for that. I don't think you've been around here for very long. I'm asking you a question. In what way is Iran winning the war? Saying I don't know doesn't answer my question. Want to beat that USA isn't going to win. But you're not answering my question. In what way is Iran winning? I give you one more chance. They control the strait. That's it? That's all? Man! Woo! Damn! What's the matter? This BS about bombing the kids' school didn't work, so now we gotta say they're winning because of the strait? That's crazy. Man, we own their entire airspace. We're still bombing the shit out of them. They cry like little bitches to come to the table, for America to come to the peace talking table after we gave them 2 weeks. And we've lost a total of 13 U.S. men as opposed to their 3,000 to 5,000. We've deleted every single one of their fucking Navy boats. They're now coral reefs at the bottom of the ocean. And Trump is going to be hailed as a fucking environmentalist. And somehow magically, because they own the one thing that America really doesn't need, you do realize that America has reserves of oil and that it never really, I mean, it made the prices go up a little, but it doesn't matter. We own their airspace. We sank their navy. They have no fucking, like, whenever I see videos on Twitter of people playing drone sounds and I see IRGC members running for the hills, bro, you ain't winning that shit. We killed 2 of their full administrations. Bro, everybody got missiles like it was an Oprah show. You gotta be on some special kind of copium. Whatever the fuck you need, man. I need some of that shit. I don't give a fuck about Israel. 120 boats is a small navy? Who's we? America or Iran? Who's we? Who is this we? They don't care about the leader dying. Okay, so who's we? Who's lost 1,000? Is you about to tell me, right? You about to answer a question that I'm trying to dig up. Who is we? We as in America or we as in Iran? I don't believe you. I think you're lying. I think you're a third worlder. I think you're lying. Where do you get that information from? Where'd you hear that from? Tacoma? The fuck is Tacoma? Bro, that ain't an American. Tacoma? Tacoma? Is that like a city? Thank you. The fuck? You know how many Tacomas are in the U.S.? Tacoma doesn't tell me shit. If you say Washington, D.C., I know, like... Whoops. Hey, what the fuck? Bro trying to say a fucking, a city and a state. Like, how the fuck am I supposed to know what y'all's bullshit is? I don't give a fuck about y'all. I live in Texas. I care about Texas cities. That's crazy. Yeah, I'm serious. What's the capital of Louisiana? What's the biggest city in Louisiana? What's the biggest city in Louisiana? What do you think? You think we ban him? Here. Here you go. That way you can't say that it was my choice. You think we ban him? Woo! That's the closest one I've seen. I'm gonna have to do this more often. Oh shit, hold on. I'm not trying to end the poll. Does this have a time limit on it? Damn! Man, it ain't looking good for you. Oh, hold on. And this, my boys, is what a democracy looks like. Smells like success. Damn. Well, don't you just love to see it? Now you can go down in Minneapolis and cry like a little baby, knowing that a democracy set another good example.
Always good to see you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey,
W.
The fascist hired himself. For the last 2.5
Yo, I'm totally gonna do that more often, by the way.
years, they smeared people like myself and people like yourselves and said that we were radical.
They don't have to smear you, man. You throw yourself under that bus. You see that bus coming and you're like, oh, look, a bus. Whee! Like, bro, what you talking about? I'm sorry, but advocating for terrorism is never a good thing. Like, how's that even a fucking conversation?
That we were wrong, and yet we persevered. But now,
I mean, it's only been like a year and a half. You know Trump still has like 2.5 years, right? I mean, there's a lot left. Like, I mean,
because I'm no longer alone. Neither are you.
Donald Trump himself is not the disease of our politics. He's just a more symptom of
the channel
it.
logo? I had my fiance make that for me. I wanted something that was more gaming related. And I wanted it to be, funny enough, it has a name. Her name is Pearl. That's the name of it. Because I'm a very rigid and very blunt person. And usually when I play games, if something pisses me off, I throw things. So I needed something to counterbalance that with a little bit of light and humor. And that's what I decided to go with, was a PlayStation 5 controller with, you know, the look that it is. But yeah, the channel logo's name is Pearl. That's the name I went with.
Disease of our politics.
Now, I know it was hard to tell, but the last person who was speaking was the candidate, almost also at a fever pitch. So they are together, no matter what that candidate says. He said he just wanted a kind of a different voice on the campaign trail with him. Oh, no. You guys...
You know why you throw controllers as a content creator? Because it's boring as fuck whenever you're sitting there playing a game in silence. You know what keeps people's attention? Putting on a show. Slamming your head on a desk, not advised, by the way. You want to captivate people, you got to put on a show. Like polling on if somebody's going to get banned. There is so much more behind being a content creator that you'll never know until you're behind the curtain. You can't just go live and expect people to show up. It doesn't work like that. I talked about being, if I get enough and I finally get an editor, I want to hire I want to buy 2 pallets of keyboards, and I want to destroy an entire pallet of keyboards on stream and give away the other to the community. That's what I want to do. It's not just about playing a game. It's about putting on a show. The sooner you understand that, the sooner you'll be a streamer, a successful streamer. Anybody can turn a camera on and say stupid shit behind the camera, but are you keeping people engaged? That's the question.
Close. Radical left influencer Hassan Piker was the first man you saw there deepening.
It's not that they know nothing. It's that if you don't know, I don't mind explaining it. That's the thing. And then it's not even just about keeping people engaged. It's luck too. Like a lot of luck. When are things going to line up just right for you to start getting views and it finally going somewhere? It's a lot of luck. It is.
Among Democrats headed into the midterm elections. Last night, appearing on stage at 2 Michigan campaign rallies with the Senate candidate Abdul El
Not a lot of people know that. A lot of people think that going live is just turning on a camera and then streaming to a bunch of people. That's not how it works. I spent a long time streaming to one person, and he's in the chat to this day, God and a Fish. To this day, he's still here. And you know what's crazy? I talk about immigration. I talk about veterans, and he's both. He joined the military as an immigrant. I'm not going to say where he's from because that ain't exactly my business to put out there unless he wants to. And he is a veteran that lives in America and has a job. And you know what? I don't look at him any different than any other American.
Democrats have condemned Piker for his long history of offensive and anti-Semitic comments like this.
This is so insane. America deserved 9/11, dude. I'm saying it.
I don't have any sort of patriotism in my heart.
Yeah, and you want to say that I'm anti-American. I love America. I love America. America is so privileged and such an amazing place to be born in. It's an amazing place. America's probably one of the few places in the world that's truly free, where you can get into somebody's comments and say something stupid and not have the fear of the police knocking on your door to lock you up for having an opposing political view. Now, if you want to go out there and freeze your nuts off like they did in Minneapolis, you want to go out there and freeze your nuts to your leg and burn down buildings and set shit on fire and destroy federal vehicles and try to run police over, big fucking surprise, you're going to have some repercussions for that.
But just in general, it doesn't matter if rapes happen on October 7th. Like, that doesn't change the dynamic for me.
Damn it, why didn't they censor that? God damn it, Fox. Why the hell didn't you censor that?
This much.
So he's anti-American and he's proud of it. No place in his heart for this country. That's not enough for El Sayed to keep his distance, to say that he and Piker are not together. Piker has millions of online followers that could translate to voters.
Are there any views that Hassan holds that you disavow while you're with him right now?
I'm not here to disavow people's views. I'm here to have a conversation about how to get money out of politics, put money back in pockets, and pass Medicare for all. That's the conversation that folks are here to listen to. This whole gotcha game, platform policing, cancel culture, I thought we were over it.
Yeah, I know, right? I thought we were over it. Why is it that Asmongold got a 7-day suspension for saying literally nothing? That's a good, maybe he's onto something there. I thought this cancel culture was over. Why is it still happening? That's interesting. That's really interesting coming from him.
Those lawmakers on the far left, like Senator Bernie Sanders and House members Ro Khanna, Rashida Tlaib, Pramila Jayapal, and Summer Lee, are backing El Sayed's Senate bid. Garrett Tenney is in East Lansing, Michigan. This story is red hot there, Garrett.
Yeah, Harris, if Abdul El-Sayed is going to win his party's primary, it's likely going to be with support from young progressives. And we saw last night that Hassan Piker is someone who can help him do that. Hundreds of students lined up and packed into these rallies, and they ate up the anti-war, anti-capitalist, and anti-establishment messages from both Piker and El-Sayed. Here's a bit of what some of those students told us.
I don't think it's too far left. I think the Democratic Party has gone so far right.
Democratic Party was also against Zoran campaigning with Hassan, and we see how that went. I think that they're really just trying to shut down Abdul's race early because I don't think they want another Zoran, and I think that they see Hassan as a way to do that because of his, statements that are framed as controversial.
You know why? Because there's still a majority of Americans that understand what the weight is behind his statements that he's made. And I think a lot of people are starting to wake up to the fact that if you're advocating for somebody that has said that America deserves 9/11 and that he's not patriotic for America and he's over in Cuba partying, taking away power to people all over that country, maybe he's not the best person to be representing. I think a lot of Americans are starting to wake up and realize what I've been saying, and that these people don't like America. They're here to colonize us. They're here to take us over, guys. That's what they're here for. They're doing the same thing they're doing to Canada, same thing they're doing to UK and Britain. It's the same shit. It must be a day that ends in Y. It must be a day of the week that ends in Y. Like, it's the same shit, bro.
At the rally, El-Sayed said, "We love and revere our Jewish neighbors and that no one will fight harder against anti-Semitism than he will." But at the time, he was also campaigning with Piker, who even some Democrats describe as an unabashed anti-Semite. After the rally, El-Sayed told me Piker's audience is more important than the streamer's controversies.
I do know that the people who listen to Hassan are engaging in good faith. They want a way forward into our politics. Do I agree with everything he said all the time? The guy streams for 8 hours a day. You could take a lot of things out of context he said that I disagree with. And at the same time, I want to have a conversation about the things we do agree with.
National Democrats are really concerned that while Piker could help Democrats win this primary, or El-Sayed win this primary, when it comes to the general election, they are concerned that that relationship could hurt their chances of holding on to the Senate seat.
You ain't even worth the conversation, guy. Bye.
Both Piker and El-Sayed told us last night that is not something they are worried the least bit about happening. Harris?
Garrett, thank you very much. I want to bring in focus now. Clay Travis, Outkick founder. Look, you are an expert in the digital world, and you're also a lawyer. So I have to ask, when you hear Hassan Piker say there's not any kind of a place in his heart for America, there's no confusion around the fact that we are not the country that he loves. Does that help Democrats win, and how problematic is it really?
I think, sadly, it probably does.
Yeah, you know why the demographic is there giving him support? Because these states are trying everything in their power to maintain these illegals in their states so that way they can maintain their voting power. That's why. Why do you think Minneapolis was fighting so hard to keep those illegals there? They deported so many illegals, they lost a seat in Congress. Let that sink in. These motherfuckers are importing so many illegals that they lost a seat in Congress. That is insane.
Help Democrats win a primary, because there are a lot of Democrat voters that don't like America and think America is an evil on the global stage.
Welcome back,
and what I think this is symptomatic of, Harris, is a desperate attempt to connect with online, particularly
Oh, God. I threw up a little in my mouth twice reading that comment. Hyper incorrect, but that so what am I saying that's incorrect? So what am I saying that's incorrect? By the way, if you want proof, there's a 2,000 video playlist of every single stream I've done since all last year. That has every event that has been new and breaking news, including a lot of the Minneapolis riots, transgender rights, and a lot of everything that has gone on. So what about what I'm saying is wrong? What's incorrect? I mean, if you're advocating for predatory stances on children, I couldn't imagine what you're going to tell me here. I know you didn't just come up in here and roach out the minute you got pulled, did you? I certainly hope that's not what I'm saying. Okay, well, I guess he's got nothing to say. Moving on.
Male audiences. There are no normal male Democrats. We've talked about this a lot. If you look at
Yeah, there he is. There's that dude. I can never think of that fucker's name. It's that dude that wears the shorts and the flip-flops. He's normal. He was the only one of the Democrats that wasn't part of that cult brainwashing fuck they're doing over there whenever Trump was rolling those people out during the fuck. Oh my God. I can't think of shit right now. State of the Union. State of the Union. Whenever Trump was given the State of the Union, he was the only one that was standing up for these people that were hurt by this. He doesn't know what the hell's going on with his own party.
Overall breakdown of gender, Democrats are hemorrhaging support with young men. And so as a result, they're recognizing that they have an issue. The problem is, I don't think they're addressing why they have that issue, which is they turn their back on the idea of traditional masculinity. And so they are sort of desperate.
I am not a big fan of being called boy. 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 What are you, fucking Kratos? Are you fucking Kratos, man? The fuck? Fetterman, thank you. Fetterman. Yeah, please sub to the channel. We're here every single day, 8 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Please sub to the channel. I'm here doing this and calling people out and making fun of them and running polls on if we should ban them or not. Where's it at? Where's it at? So you obviously have a problem with what I'm saying. So made up social wars, not actual policy, where you're a joke boy. Take your safety blanket off and join us in the real world. 29 seats flipped blue so far since Trump took office. That's insane. 29 seats flipped blue, 1 seat flipped red. Deep red district flipping blue. Nobody gives a fuck about Hassan. I kind of agree with that, but what the fuck is with the MAGA dips always watching social media and basing their votes on it? It's wild what the... Look here. I tell you what, when you go out and you volunteer firefight, or you go to college and become a firefighter, or you join the military, or you become a police officer, then maybe I'll actually take somebody serious. But until then, what have you done for your community? You want to talk about real world experience? What have you done for your community? Because if the answer is nothing, I don't want to hear shit from you. Safety blanket and crying about made-up social wars, so yes, boy. Okay, so what have you done for your community? I ran a pool business, sticks build, remodel, and maintain. What a fucking pussy. You know what this is? You know what this is? It's a firefighter glove. It's for bunker gear. You know how many times I've given CPR to somebody with these gloves on? You know how many times I've put out fire with these gloves on? You know how many people I've saved for a community that wasn't even mine at 4 a.m. with these gloves on? And you want to sit here and talk to me about the real world, pussy? Tell you what, when you start cracking open doors at 3 a.m. to put out a fire and drag people out of a fire, then you can sit here and criticize me, bitch. I'm not going to call you boy, because you're just too damn ignorant. You's a bitch. How about that? I was paid $67K a year to do that. I also worked at the United States Postal Service, and I also worked as a school bus driver. I'm 31 years old. I have a class, damn, I am just fucking out of it today, man. I have a CDL license. I also have a license to drive motorcycles. Actually, I wasn't done with that. So why don't you find another chat where you can sit here and act like a little bitch, and maybe you'll find somebody that actually doesn't have real world experience. How about that?
Try to connect with an audience they don't really understand. Now, what I think
Bro
is
don't even know how many how many chests I've cracked with those damn gloves on, bro. Fuck out of here. Bro, I remember the first day of my academy, my fire academy. We were doing push-ups on the concrete, and I had these massive fucking blisters from the hot concrete on both my palms. And like, I had to pop them because they were fucking me up, right? The next day. Bro, every one of the academy people had these big ass fucking popped blisters on both sides of their hands from doing push-ups on that scalding hot concrete. And you know what we did the next day? The same fucking thing. I had bruises on the side of my fucking my side from carrying ladders on ladder day. We had to carry ladders, 300-400 pound ladders for days. It was called ladder week. You know what we did? We got out in the same fucking parking lot, and we each had to pick up a ladder that would leave massive bruises on our side in bunker gear in the Texas summer heat. I almost had a guy pass out in front of me. Bro had the ladder, and I was like, bro, where you going? He's going this way. I'm like, bro, where you going? Where you going? Where you going? And he's like, oh man, I'm seeing spots right now. You know what happened that day? Someone who was pissed off ran over to the fucking, the bunk out area, took his shit off, went home and quit. Their job wasn't just to train us. It was to roach out the pussies. That's what their fucking job was. They wanted to make sure, those captains that ran that academy wanted to make sure that if we got hired, we weren't going to get ourselves killed or somebody else killed. Don't talk to me about being a boy, bitch. You don't know unless you've put out something as substantial as that, you've been in the military and know what it's like to fight along somebody else, don't talk to me, man. Especially don't come up in my comments with that mentality. You're going to get called out, you're going to get fucking embarrassed, and you're going to get banned. And you're going to be content later. That's what's going to happen to you. Keep the name calling to yourself.
Really super significant.
Oh, wait, sorry. I saw that there was a donation. Hold on. Where are my manners? Sorry, I was so busy talking about other people's manners, I forgot my own. W beat Shaman Bondi Sydney shooting on YouTube. Camera lens foggy. I don't know what that means. Bondi Sydney? Who the hell is Bondi Sydney? I don't really think I should be watching a shooting nor a camera. The lens is probably fuzzy because they don't want you to see it. I mean, they probably have some kind of filter on it.
About this race, Harris.
You can't just show a shooting on camera. W don't know, though.
There is no incumbent. There's a Democrat primary, and this guy, this is important. Leave aside whatever Piker may or may not have said. We know El Sayed, this came out.
Only thing you fought was paperwork. Military. Bro can't even listen to what I'm saying. What the hell?
I
Like,
think it should
what?
be a bigger story than it was. He, on tape, was caught discussing with his top advisors the fact that he...
I didn't stay a firefighter because the whole reason why I became a firefighter was because I wanted to be a YouTuber. That's why. I heard about the 48-96 schedule, which is 2 days on, 4 days off. And I walked over to the station, or actually I drove over to the station around where I lived. And I asked them how they liked their job, and they all said it was the best job in the world. If I get suspended off of every platform tomorrow, I will probably be trying to attain my firefighter stuff again. It was absolutely the best and most fun job I have ever had. I loved it. If you walk, and you can do this yourself, go to a fire station, knock on the door, ring the doorbell, and ask them how they like their job. Every single one of them men that are going to walk out of there are going to tell you it's the best job in the world. I got hired at the one department in the entirety of motherfucking Houston that had a 24-48 schedule, which is 1 day on, 2 days off. And they forced hours. So I was usually working 2 days on and 1 day off. Whenever you have to drive 45 minutes to get home and you caught fires the night before and you have to get up at 4 a.m. or 3 a.m. the next day to go back in for another 48-hour shift, well, that doesn't really leave you a lot of time to do jack shit. So, and they couldn't keep people because of the schedule. Everyone that got hired with me was gone within that week. There was 2 people that stayed. 3. Me and 2 other people. One of them doesn't like fire. One of them that got hired with me was scared of the fucking nozzle. So technically only 2 firemen were hired. And the other person that got hired with me was with me in my academy.
He didn't want to talk about us killing the Ayatollah in Iran because too many people that would otherwise support him.
I think they hired a total of 9 people. Most of them left in the first week. I left a good 7-8 months after that. I still love the job, even though there were a lot of hours. Bro, we was catching fires and calls like every fucking day. I would leave, like, there is, like, I don't want to say it's badass, but there is nothing like whenever you leave to go home and you smell like smoke. Like burnt, not like cigarette smoke, like actual, like, fire smoke. That smell is so nostalgic to me. I don't know what it is. But I love, dude, whenever I would bunk up, I'd feel like a fucking beast. I felt like a fucking a mech suit driver. Like, seriously, it felt bad. And I asked I asked the people too, I was like, is that how y'all feel too? And they're like, oh, absolutely. It feels so badass. Because to an extent, you're pretty much immune to fire. It's great. It's a crazy feeling. Like, whenever you inhale and that rebreather opens up, You hear that? That, I don't know what it is, man. It's just so fun. It's so fun.
Upset about the fact that the Ayatollah was gone here in the United States. I think Mike Rogers is the
tell me about it.
Republican candidate here, and I
To
would
give you an idea, at the academy, it would get so hot. One of the because every person was like, so the fire chiefs ran the school and did most of the training that we had to do, and then we had a class filled with students, and some of the students were picked to be captains. They were the fire chiefs. The students were the captains, and there were like 5 captains, right? And then each one of them had a team of 3 or 4. We had the smallest team. But I also got with a captain that was part of the National Guard. And he was using the GI Bill to get into college for free. So they were paying him to be there, right? Or not is it the GI Bill? It's something, right? And it was me and 2 other people. And my captain, whenever he would get done, now this dude just got out of like doing all that. Like, he was fit. This was not a big dude. This guy was built like a fucking house. He was tall, slender, and he was very athletic. He had one of the best running scores that we had in the entire class, right? So he had stamina. He would turn his boots over from his bunker gear, and it would just pour out water. So like, and I'm like 26. This dude was 23. So, like, the fact that I was able to keep up with a lot of these guys at, like, almost, like, 5 years their age, I think I'm in pretty good shape. I may be a little bit chunkier now than I was then, but I can still put out a fire. I can still do it if I need to. I need to hit the weights a little bit more if I wanted to go back to firefighting, but as far as stamina, I still got it.
Encourage Democrats to go out and support El Sayed, to get behind everything that Hassan Piker has said about not loving America and believing that Jewish people are responsible for what happened on October 7th. Because guess what? The average swing voter in Michigan is not going to respond well to this, Harris. And remember, if Michigan goes red, if Mike Rogers wins this race in Michigan, the map is over for Democrats. There is no way that they can even contend in the Senate if they lose Michigan, Georgia, or New Hampshire. 3 battlegrounds where it's a blue Senate seat right now. This, to me, is a big story. I think lots of Republicans should want these guys to campaign.
I want to make this clear. Like, there are a lot of chunky firefighters that can still put out a fire better than the most athletic people. And you know why? A lot of people don't seem to understand this. Whenever you know how to pick somebody up, or you know how to throw a ladder, or you know how to handle a fire hose, or you know how to control your breathing when you're in bunker gear and everything around you is hot as fuck, it doesn't matter how chunky you are. What matters is the skill that it takes, and that's what they taught us at that academy. And every skill that I learned at that academy, I utilized whenever I worked as a firefighter. Every single skill was tested. And it like having the captains walk up to me, and some of them being so scared of me that they wouldn't work with me, was an amazing thing. Because every job I had worked at prior to that, they treated me like shit. But whenever I showed my experience, whenever I showed what I could do, they fucked off. I got to do pretty much whatever I wanted. Because they knew that the minute that we caught a call, I was going to be the first one that would wrestle that hose away from whoever's going to get it and be the first one through that damn door. Every time. Every time. I did not fuck around. I loved that job. That job was fun. I didn't think much of it at first, but then like the more I started showing up to classes, the more I started showing up in the, like, once I got my first day as a firefighter, I like, it kind of hit me. I was like, I still ain't a firefighter. I ain't done shit. I told myself that too. I was like, I haven't done shit. You ain't shit, man. You ain't done a damn thing. And then I caught my first fire. It was a bitch too. It was a blazer. Put it out. First on scene. It was a fucking blaze. And from that point forward, I was like, nope, I'm a firefighter. You ain't gonna take that away from me. I have fought fires. I've done the mile. You ain't gonna convince me otherwise.
everywhere, and I encourage it.
Ever since then, it was all uphill. I put out fire after fire after fire the entire time I was there.
El Sayed to be the nominee because I think he'll lose to Mike Rogers, which would be a big win for Trump and Republicans and Mike Rogers.
Look, when you say, or when you hear Abdul El Sayed say, you know, one of the reasons this guy is so powerful next to him is because he streams for like 8 hours a day. And while he might not, yeah, you stream for 8 hours a day. And he said, I may not agree with everything he says. I don't know if that's the shouldn't you do most of the talking as the candidate?
Well, I think it's a desperate attempt to try to bring in someone who has a bigger audience than you do and
well,
try
from what
to
you just
then
described in
use
Michigan,
his
that would be
audience
pretty
to
much
propel
anybody
you.
running against Al Sayed in terms
Bro,
of having a
fuck forestry. Man, oh, dude, I couldn't imagine being a forest firefighter. Oh, God, that sucks wieners, dude. I couldn't imagine. Oh, dude. It's no different than whenever you actually have to work at a fire department that has like a high-rise building. Dude, fuck that. Oh, fuck that. Dude, I heard that Houston was paying $35,000 a year, and I was like, really? How many high-rises they catch? And they started listing off the ones that happened in the past 3 days, and I was like, nah, not for no $35,000 a year. Yeah, ain't no way in hell I'm gonna be bunked up, going up 37 flights of stairs to the top of a building because the elevator don't work. And then having to catch that fire, fuck that. No, I'm good, bro.
Bigger
audience.
Not for that.
That's 100% true, Harris. And that's why I think that if I'm a Republican operative in Michigan, I'm saying hold way more rallies. Remember, when all this information came out about him refusing to even discuss the assassination of the Ayatollah, his support in the Democrat Party went up. There's lots of young people out there that I think are going to respond in a favorable way to this. I hope, Harris, that El Sayed is the nominee, and I hope Hassan Piker helps him get there because he's going to lose the general.
Clay, thank you. Always good to have you.
Hey, it's Will Kane. Click here to subscribe to the Fox News channel on YouTube. It's the best way to get our latest
Hezbollah trading blows throughout the night as Middle East nations continue to test the fragile Iran ceasefire deal.
So this comes ahead of this weekend's high-stakes direct talks in Pakistan, led by Vice President J.D. Vance.
Chief Foreign Correspondent.
Woo! J.D. Vance about to put the hammer down, boys. Ooh, they better look out over there.
Correspondent Trey Yinks is live in Tel Aviv with the latest. Hey, Trey.
Yeah, hey, guys, good morning. Direct talks are set to take place in Islamabad, Pakistan this weekend, led
I don't know if I want to say this or not. A part of me wants to. What do you think the likelihood is that if J.D. Vance actually gets set on the ground there, that he gets captured and they try to use him as a trade token? What do you think the likelihood of that is? You think zero? I wasn't going to say it. I wasn't going to say it. But then I was like, if I don't say it, and it happens, then all I'm going to have to go on is, well, I thought it, but I didn't say it. Sure you did, guy. Sure you did. But now we got it. I said it. I don't think it's a 0% chance. I'll say that. I don't think it's a high chance, but I think there is a percentage chance that they may be plotting something. Probably below 10%, maybe even 5%. But the fact that there is a percentage there at all is concerning.
J.D. Vance, along with Special Envoy Steve Witkoff
How's
and
it
the
going,
president's son-in-law,
Channel?
Jared Kushner. President Trump overnight issuing a new warning for the Iranian regime on Truth
You could have the best security in the world, but when you're in a foreign country and they want you, the issue is unless you're willing to mobilize the entire United States military to ensure your safety, and you're in enemy territory or in a territory you don't particularly know, man, that's a rough patch.
He said in part, quote, all U.S. ships, aircraft, and military personnel with additional ammunition, weaponry, and anything else that is appropriate and necessary for the lethal prosecution and destruction of an already substantially degraded enemy will remain in place in and around
I hope you're right. I hope you're right, Beat Shaman. I do.
Until such time as the real agreement reached is fully complied with. The president went on to say, which is, if for any
you
reason
realize that the Strait of Hormuz is still closed. Why we're not bombing the fuck out of these people is beyond me.
not, which is highly unlikely, then the shooting starts. Now, all of this is taking place as eyes remain focused on the Strait of Hormuz. Yesterday, we understand that just 4 vessels were able to pass through the strait. Despite the fact this is part of the agreement, the Iranians are still trying to use this chokehold as leverage at the negotiating table. Yesterday, Vice President J.D. Vance sending a message directly to the Iranian regime.
It's kind of crazy because the entire ceasefire was built on the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz. The strait still isn't open. Why?
The Iranians to come to the table seriously. We've seen some signs that they're going to do that. We've seen some signs of bravado. Fundamentally, we're in a good spot. They're reopening the straits. We have a ceasefire. And frankly, if they break their end of the bargain, then they're going to see some serious consequences.
Not just Iran, but we're also focused on Lebanon, where yesterday dozens of Israeli strikes targeted Hezbollah positions there. Many of the targets.
I'm so happy somebody said it. I'm so happy somebody said it. It's sad that average people know the reason why. I'm so happy that a lot of y'all are here.
Targeting took place in the Dacha neighborhood of southern Beirut. And Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu yesterday talked not just about Lebanon, but also the broader goals of the operation.
We have more goals to complete, and we will achieve them either by agreement or by renewing the fighting.
That's right. That's right. Oh, man, you either get that damn strait open or we start dropping more bombs. I mean...
Prepared to return to fighting at any moment necessary. Our finger is on the trigger.
A senior Israeli official telling Fox News that yesterday 200 Hezbollah combatants were killed in those dozens of strikes across Lebanon. We also understand there were many civilians among the dead. Guys?
So, Trey, in terms of incoming rockets and drones today, has there been anything in the last few hours outside that? I know that Hezbollah hit the north, but has Iran targeted Israel?
Iran has not targeted Israel today, but Hezbollah continues the fire toward northern Israel. Just last hour, there were dozens of alerts across the north amid new incoming Hezbollah rocket fire.
So what's the reason that we've only seen a few ships go through after the ceasefire? Because the whole point of this was to make sure that the strait is open.
Look, the Iranians have a history of playing games at the negotiating table, and this is a major challenge for the Trump administration. Yesterday, we heard the press secretary...
And that's the reason why they started getting bombed. They've done this for 47 years. I mean, they've sat here and fucked around and jerked off in a napkin for 47 years, bro. Slowly built up their military using American money and American funding that they got from capturing American soldiers to build up this massive regime to oppress an entire group of people and maintain power through proxy terrorism. Like, you're not gonna make these people come to the table and still be like, they've been dishonest for 47 years, bro. It's not gonna start today where they just automatically think that, oh, well, now we're gonna be on. No, that's not what's gonna happen.
Caroline Leavitt talk about the details.
How many times do you have to keep getting fucking betrayed before you realize that the person stabbing you in the back never had intentions in the first place? They were just biding time.
Of this negotiation, they are sending an American delegation to Islamabad this weekend to speak directly with the Iranian regime and try to get this deal done. Remember, right now we're in a 2-week ceasefire. This is not necessarily the end of Operation Epic Fury. It's a chance at an off-ramp. But already the Iranians are starting to go back on the agreements that they made and these commitments they made to American negotiators to temporarily end this conflict. Yesterday, we heard the Speaker of Iran's parliament saying that the issue of enriched uranium will be something that the Iranians will maintain. We also heard President Trump yesterday saying that the Iranians have agreed to work with the Americans to allow an operation inside of Iran to dig up and get rid of the enriched uranium. And so there's still a major disconnect there. And today there was a major statement from the atomic chief in Iran who said the enemy, quote, won't succeed in restricting Iran's enrichment program. And again, at this point, the Iranians do not look serious in their efforts to reach an agreement with the United States. And
Thanks,
so
Lunchbox.
this weekend will be
If
incredibly...
you're new here, sub to the channel. We're here every day, 8 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Every single day. Every single day. I was even here on Easter. So every day we're here talking about this stuff. We start with gaming in the morning, and then we follow up with little kind of switch over like movies or something, and then we go into politics, and sometimes we end with dash cam. Friday is TCAP day. I got an email back from Chris Hansen himself, so Friday is to catch a predator. Anytime I say TCAP, that's what I mean, to catch a predator.
Sequential, and if the Iranians continue,
we will be doing the fish and bird stream after, or fish or bird stream after stream today, so stick around for that as well.
To go back on these commitments that they made to the Americans as it relates to enriched uranium and also access in the Strait of Hormuz, we are likely looking at a situation where the region returns to war.
WWW, by the way, W, all you new people, all the people that keep showing up, y'all guys are awesome. Seriously, all of y'all are awesome.
Into perspective, because the Israelis don't have the luxury to talk about the world global oil market. They're talking about their safety at this point because they're so close. It seems like their mission objectives are different.
Well, obviously they said what they wanted. They said what they wanted at the negotiation. I'm sorry, but if you're getting bombed into like the Stone Age, and you still think that you have like a standing or like a foot to stand on with these negotiations, you're crazy. Like if you look at what they want, it's insane. They want war reparations. Fuck no, bomb them harder. Let's see how long those war reparations will be on the like. Just because you come to the table with these ridiculous, like, it's not just about being at the table. It's about wheeling and dealing and doing business. The fuck? Why would we send you more money? You're just going to use it to build more bombs to kill Americans. Are you dumb? Come on.
And today we have seen less strikes against the Iran-backed Lebanese militant group Hezbollah, but Israeli strikes are expected to continue. And I spoke with an Israeli official yesterday who described the connection between the Islamic regime and Hezbollah. Remember, this is their largest proxy in the region. And this official said that if Iran is able to back out of negotiations by pointing to the Israeli strikes against Hezbollah, then they are controlling the terror axis that they previously built across the region, not just with Hezbollah, but also with the Houthis in Yemen and Iran-backed Iraqi and Syrian Shia militias. And this raises a very important point in the region. Iran does not have leverage or control of the situation right now. And so they're going to look for any sort of opportunity to say that the United States and Israel are not adhering to the terms that were reached before. But President Trump was very clear yesterday. The Iranians are trying to put out disinformation already. And yesterday we reported on a 10-point plan, and I'm told by a U.S. official that that was actually an old plan that the Iranians put out because they wanted people to talk about it and try to put their perspective forward. And so we are correcting that today, and we spoke with U.S. officials yesterday who said that is not the latest plan. There is an updated plan that the president agreed to, and despite these efforts by the Iranian regime to try to spin negotiators, this will be incredibly consequential this weekend to see whether or not they are serious about creating a good faith deal.
Wow. I mean, my gosh. Yesterday we were talking about the 10-point plan. Now we're learning that that might not be the final plan.
I don't think that this with Iran, this whatever the hell they're doing with Iran is going to last very long. I genuinely don't think it is. Because they're doing the same thing that they did whenever we first got there. Iran's peace proposal looked... Oh, shit, is it over? Is it over? Wait a minute. Is it over?
Here we go. 9 o'clock in New York City. The fragile peace, the U.S. and Iran ceasefire holding for now, but the pressure is coming from all sides. This before the Vice President, J.D. Vance, leads high-stakes talk over the weekend. Good morning, everybody. We've got a ton to get through. I'm Bill Hemmer. Buckle up. Here we go today.
Good morning. I'm Dana Perino. I'm surprised it is only Thursday because it feels like it could be next Thursday. There's been a lot of news, but we are here on America's Newsroom. We're going to take you through it. So these negotiations we mentioned, they're going to take place in Pakistan, and the goal is a diplomatic path forward. Their success or failure could hinge on the Strait of Hormuz. That's the key waterway that's still closed. Meanwhile,
why are y'all still trying to make a deal with they haven't even opened the strait? What are you doing? Why would you send the vice president to do peace talks in a foreign country when they haven't even kept up their side of the deal? The strait's still dead as shit, bro. What are you doing, Trump?
Trump warning that U.S. forces are ready to resume their devastating strikes unless the regime complies with the deal.
So here was the post from late last night. Here we go. It's a long one. All U.S. ships, aircraft, and military personnel with additional ammunition, weaponry, and anything else that is appropriate and necessary for the lethal prosecution and destruction of an already substantially degraded enemy will remain in place in and around Iran until such time as the real agreement reached is fully complied with. If for any reason it is not, which is highly unlikely, then the shooting starts. Bigger and better and stronger than anyone has ever.
You think Trump was like a Texan in his former life or something? What do y'all think? Y'all think he was like a cowboy in his former life? Like a Texas cowboy, not a pussy cowboy, like a Texas cowboy. I'm not from Texas, so like.
Seen before.
So let's get to it. Trey Ying standing by in Tel Aviv. Let's check in at the White House first. That's Peter Ducey's spot. Hi, Peter.
Dana, good morning. One of the first things that made officials here suspicious of that first.
Hey, maybe he was around long enough to actually be a cat. I mean, hell, who knows?
Peace proposal was that to folks in the West Wing, it looked like something churned out by AI.
The first 10-point proposal was something that was submitted, and we think, frankly, was probably written by ChatGPT, that was submitted to Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner. That immediately went in the garbage and was rejected. There was a second.
Well, I'm surprised that wasn't like a picture of like it being framed in the garbage can like Pam Body's picture. I mean, hell, let's be honest here.
10-point proposal that was much more reasonable.
That's where
funny.
we're at. Vance is now on deck for his biggest assignment as vice president so far, leading these peace talks in Pakistan Saturday. President Trump will be watching from the U.S., where he is still stewing about military allies who left us hanging during Epic Fury. The president writes, NATO wasn't there when we needed them, and they won't be there if we need them again. Remember Greenland, that big, poorly run piece of ice. The man NATO sent to try to keep the U.S. invested in the alliance, Mark Rutte, now talking about his private chat with the president yesterday.
Ooh.
He is clearly disappointed, with many.
He should be. Whenever you're paying as much as America is paying into NATO, and you're supplying the biggest portion of military for NATO, and the minute that, not that we needed their help, but it's the fact that if we did, we wouldn't get it. That's the problem. That's the issue with NATO, is that it is supposed to be an alliance of all of these people that can use them as support if needed. But the fact that we can't even access our military bases in their countries because of some ideology slop is a huge problem. And what we should do because of that is every country that would not allow us to use the bases in their countries, we should break down the military bases and remove ourselves from NATO entirely. We should make our own organization where people can pay us to be effectively the world police. That's what should happen. Why should we be paying other people when they don't even have the military in order to send over to be like, if you're part of NATO, like why should we be paying anything into that? Why aren't we all paying equally into it if that's the case?
NATO allies, and I can see his point. But at the same time, I was also able to point to the fact.
You just lost your argument. You just lost your argument. There's nothing that you're going to say that's going to make it to where anyone changes their mind. whenever you say you see what he means, you can give excuses, but you're not going to be convincing.
But with many NATO allies, and I can see his point. But at the same time, I was also able to point to the fact that the large majority of European nations has been helpful with basing, with logistics, with overflights.
Some of the words that officials here are using to describe Epic Fury are in the past tense, like an operation that has already met its military objectives. But President Trump still is not going to pull any manpower out of the Middle East until a peace deal is reached or not. Dana?
Okay, Peter, that's still up in the air. Thank you so much. And now let's go to Trey Yingse as the latest from Tel Aviv. Hi, Trey.
Yeah, Dana, good morning. We just got a new statement from CENTCOM Commander Admiral Brad Cooper, who said Iran suffered a generational defeat.
I don't think we should force people to leave. If they don't want to leave NATO, that's fine. I think America should leave NATO. America should leave NATO. I want them to do whatever they want to do. If you don't want to help us in a war, that's fine. But when we're paying into an organization and we're paying the most into that organization, and I hear talk of China paying less than us, and they're the second biggest, the second wealthiest country in the world, I got a problem with that. Why are we paying more into this organization and we're not getting anything out of it? Why are we going around cleaning up all this mess whenever we're the ones paying the most and we've got the biggest military? They should be paying us to be in that bitch. Where does this money even go? Hello? Like, what are we doing? No. They want to stay in NATO? Good. Let them stay in NATO. America doesn't need to be a part of this bullshit. Seriously.
Adding the U.S. military achieved all of its objectives. Here's what Cooper had to say.
U.S. forces have paused offensive operations in accordance with the ongoing ceasefire. However, we remain present. We remain vigilant, and we remain ready if called.
We remain vigilant, the words there from the CENTCOM commander, as we do have a new statement from Iran's president, Masoud Pezeshkian, who said the repeated aggression by the Zionist entity against Lebanon is a flagrant violation of the initial ceasefire agreement and a dangerous indicator of deceit and lack of commitment to potential accord.
Exactly. We pay into NATO so that way we can use bases all over the world whenever we need to do something. And they're supposed to be allotted to us for that. And you're telling us, as a foreign country that's part of NATO, that we can no longer use them. There's a problem there. Because we had this intention that because we're paying so much into it, and because we helped out all these countries in World War I and World War II, they would have more respect. But they don't, and they clearly don't give a shit. Obviously, the Germans trying to take over the fucking world didn't have much of an effect whenever most of the people that had to deal with it are now dead. So it obviously there's a problem that has gone severely awry with these organizations, and we need to take a step back, pull out of NATO, pull out of these countries, break down these bases, take all of our shit back, and we need to take a big step back and figure out who our real allies are and who are not. That's what we need to be doing now as if you're in the United States government. Who is our allies? Who could we call upon? And who can we not? Who can we rely on?
Of these aggressions will render negotiations meaningless. Our hands will remain on the trigger, and Iran will never abandon its Lebanese brothers and sisters. Now, the Israelis yesterday conducted dozens of airstrikes against Iran's largest proxy in the region, Hezbollah. You can see some of these strikes here in the Lebanese capital of Beirut, specifically the Dahya neighborhood. The IDF says they took out a top Hezbollah official identified as the personal secretary to Hezbollah's Secretary General, Naim Qassem. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu saying this yesterday about the operation's goals.
NATO is defensive alliance. This is an offensive war. So what you're telling me is that we're expected to continue sending billions and millions of dollars to a bunch of terrorists. They continue to capture American soldiers. And we're just expected to deal with that, right? We're expected to accept videos of terrorists forcing American soldiers to kiss them on the forehead and us giving them millions of dollars in order to get those soldiers back so they can continue to get missiles and bomb more American soldiers. If somebody walks up to you with a gun in their hand and you have a gun, are you going to wait for them to shoot you or are you just going to shoot them? I'm not talking about a police officer or a military personnel. I'm talking about a normal person that's got a gun in their hand, finger on the trigger by their side. You gonna wait for them to point that gun at you, or are you gonna shoot them first? What's crazy is that they already shot you in the arms and the legs. Emphasis on the terrorism that I was just talking about. But are you gonna wait for them to get that kill shot in, or are you gonna solve the problem before it gets even worse? Do a bad thing expecting backup? Who are these people? Allies or servant respect. F you talking about you in deep, bro. You do bad thing, expect backup, no, bro. Go learn how to speak English, third worlder. Learn to speak English first. Learn how to spell. Learn how to structure proper sentences. Get away from your communist books. Then come back in this chat using a different account, because we all know that's what you're going to do, and try again. Okay? Try again. Now, where was that other individual at? How does a country with its military completely destroyed close the strait, bases, dude said, NATO, hello everyone, hello gaming. Wait, how's it going, Duke? Dr. Luke, sorry about that. Dr. Luke, the GOAT. Facts fishy, why not at this point? How it sounds weird. Now it sounds like we are trying to take over the world. So what if we are? I'm sorry that I don't want to continue allowing all of these people fleeing their country into my country. They're taking over our country. Every time I see a politician that barely knows English and speaking in a foreign language in my country, in one of my states, I got a fucking problem with that. I got a huge problem with that. You want to bitch and complain about America taking over more countries? That's what happens when you try to take over America. Get used to it. Why is it so bad? Cuba been bitching and complaining that it's America's fault for decades. Why Cuba is a shithole. And the minute that America's ready to solve their problems, well, it's your fault we're this way. You're right. Sure, you're right. I don't argue with stupid people. But since it's our fault, why don't you just hand the reins to us and we'll take care of it for you? You want to say it's our fault, and now that we're trying to clean it up for you? Yeah, okay, say less. Say less. Yeah, sure. Blame us for your government's shit problems. The fact that you have all your money stripped away from you like these Iranians do and given to terrorist organizations all over the Middle East to buy bombs and weapons to kill people. Sure, that's America's fault. Yeah, sure. Whatever you got to say to cope and get to the next fucking day. But you know what? When the bombs start dropping and people start dying, eyes are going to start opening. And if that's what it takes to stop this, then so be it. They wouldn't want to flee their own country and come here if their countries weren't shitholes. They'd want to stay in their own country. So what's wrong with forcing a a change of their governmental systems. It obviously isn't working. When you throw a party in a 5-star hotel in Cuba, the entire goddamn country goes without power. How the fuck does that make any sense? How's that America's fault? Hello? Get the fuck out of here. Come on.
We have more goals to complete, and we will achieve them either by agreement or by renewing.
Thanks for the 2 jewels.
We are prepared to return to fighting at any moment necessary. Our finger is on the trigger.
Israel preparing for a variety of contingencies in the days ahead as international attention remains on the Strait of Hormuz. Yesterday, 4 different vessels were able to pass.
How so? Talking about the strait was open before Trump decided to attack. So if you were missing one day of work, you have money troubles, bruh. The Netherlands has a better standard of living, better work-life balance, healthcare that doesn't cost thousands of dollars. It's of alliance. The strait was open before Trump decided to attack. What the fuck are you talking about? You're a special kind of stupid, aren't you? Well, you're a special kind of fucking banned dumbass, aren't you? Bye. Why would I want to engage with that?
Through this area, according to initial reports, these were
what
not
a fucking parasite.
Tankers, but container ships. Today, there are questions about how many vessels will be able to get through, as Vice President J.D. Vance issued a new warning last night to the Iranian regime.
I encourage the Iranians to come to the table seriously. We've seen some signs that they're going to do that. We've seen some signs of bravado. Fundamentally, we're in a good spot. They're reopening the straits. We have a ceasefire. And frankly, if they break their end of the bargain, then they're going to see some serious consequences.
The vice president speaking very clearly there about the negotiations that are set to take place this weekend in Islamabad, Pakistan. He'll be joined by special envoys Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner. Bill, Dana.
Trey Yings, thank you. And now let's get to Bill over at the board.
Okay, we're going to explain a few things, Dana. I want our audience to think about 4 or 5 things on this first map here. Number 1, the country of Oman, and then UAE, and then Iran over here. And in between this area is the Strait of Hormuz. Okay, so that's the balance that we look at right now. This is what we believed happened in the Strait of Hormuz over the past 24 hours. April 7th to April 8th. Today's the 9th of April. I count 10, maybe 11 cargo ships and tankers that have gone through the Strait of Hormuz. And what you see in green are those entering the Strait of Hormuz. What you see in yellow is those exiting. On a normal day, before this war started, some 40 days ago, you would have 100 ocean liners going through the Strait of Hormuz. Remember, 24-hour period, it's 9, maybe 10 over that 2-day period, April 7 and April 8, all right?
So it's not open. They're letting some ships through and turning away some.
Here is the old track, all right? From the Gulf of Oman, right?
Yeah.
Off the coast of Oman.
Why would you need to go here? What is here? What is this? What's in between this? I wondered that too. I was like, why are they going here? Why wouldn't they just go here? Why are they going here? What is this?
Iran is over here, and then in turn, the tankers would come this way as well. What Iran is doing right now is they're diverting these ships to come closer to its shoreline. We talk a lot.
Exactly. That means that bitch ain't open. That's what the fuck that means. You know what that means? Boom. 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 Why are we fucking around with this? Why are we fucking around with this? They're already breaking the deal. I don't need to be hearing people talk. I need to be hearing boom, boom, boom. That's what I need to be hearing. They can't even in good faith open up the fucking strait. And we sitting here acting like we gonna make a deal with these monsters, bro? What are we doing?
What about these islands that Iran has that owns right now? That's like Larak Island. This is Kamesh over here, a larger island. So what the Iranians are doing is they're diverting traffic this way so they can hopefully, they believe, at least they stated publicly, collect that toll in either cryptocurrency or Chinese yuan. That's the strategy on behalf of the Iranians today. We're going to watch that throughout the day and see whether or not that traffic picks up April 9th, April 10th, into the weekend when J.D. Vance and others are in Islamabad. This is what the Israelis did in the meantime, and this is a really good question as to what the Israelis thought this ceasefire was all about, what the Iranians...
The Strait of America. Dude, I kind of like the ring of that. Yo, man, I kind of like the sound of that. What we should do is we should take out all these terrorists, and then what we do is we send ground troops onto that island and secure the world's oil, and then we could start taxing all these people millions of dollars, like all these big-ass countries. And then once we're done with that, we take 50% of Iran's oil for setting all their people free. I mean, shit, bro. You know what it's like to have a cost of gas to 99 cents a gallon? That's what it would look like. That's what it would fucking look like, boys.
Thought it was about and what the U.S. thought it was about. Everything you see in blue is a strike that the Israelis hit with his Hezbollah targets on the ground.
That's right. Get that NATO money back and get all that oil, boys. Get all that oil.
By some reporting now, they went after 100 targets in a 24-hour period. Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows.
So the fragile Iran ceasefire deal is holding, I guess, for now, but Gulf states are asking for further clarification on the terms as Tehran finally stops its attacks on them. This includes the UAE, where Matt Finn is standing by with the details. Matt.
Hey, Brian. Right now it's about 3:30 in the afternoon here, and so far the Ministry of Defense says it has not detected any Iranian attacks today. We believe this would be the first day since this war began that Iran has not fired at the UAE here. So it appears Iran may be complying with the ceasefire, although it's 3:30 in the afternoon. We'll see what the rest of the day looks like. Now, yesterday, the UAE says Iran fired at this country, along with Israel and Kuwait. And the UAE put out a statement asking for clarification on the terms of the ceasefire. Vice President Vance offered some clarification, and he says the ceasefire requires Iran to stop firing at U.S. allies here in the Gulf.
I think the Iranians thought that the ceasefire included Lebanon, and it just didn't. We never made that promise. We never indicated that.
It's an American ceasefire. That's what it is. It never involved Israel, never involved any other country. It was American and Iran. That's what it's being said as a ceasefire between Iran and America. Not once did I hear Israel in that. Why the fuck are they not bombing the shit out of Iran? What are they doing?
It's going to be the case. What we said is that the ceasefire would be focused on Iran, and the ceasefire would be focused on America's allies, both Israel and the Gulf Arab states.
Yeah, that's what you should be saying. You shouldn't be saying that an American-Iran ceasefire. You should be saying an American allied and Iran ceasefire. That's what you should be saying. Wording makes a difference.
Now, yesterday, even after the ceasefire, Iran launched attacks across the Gulf region. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said it's possible the ceasefire took time to kick in.
Or America and American allies, Iran ceasefire.
New statement, an Emirates official says it's done being polite with Iran, writing followers.
Ooh, the Emirates are pissed too. Ooh, you hear that? Look at that. All the countries that they decided to bomb whenever Israel and America used Epic Lion and Lion's Roar on their sorry ass. Oh man, big surprise if you bomb a country that didn't do a damn thing to you. Oh, what? They have American bases there? Well, why the fuck are there bombs in the streets? Last time I checked, there wasn't a goddamn American base in the middle of a fucking four-way intersection. Why the fuck is there a missile being sent there? Maybe it's because they're lying?
An Emirates official says it's done being polite with Iran, writing, followers should not be surprised, frankly, by the UAE's positions in confronting the Iranian aggression against the Arab Gulf states. The era of courtesies has passed, and frankness has become a necessity. Our collective stance must be firm and clear toward the features of the upcoming phase in a way that enhances stability and security in the region. Now, throughout this, the UAE has said that the United States has become its greatest security partner in the world and that the UAE will double down on its relationship with the United States. Brian.
Look at that. You attack a bunch of fucking schizo terrorists in a foreign fucking country, you get more allies. Huh. Man. Ain't that a beautiful thing? Big fucking surprise. Bunch of terrorists bombed a whole bunch of fucking four-way intersections, and they're pissed now. No shit. What about the hotel in Dubai, where they're trying to fly that fucking drone into the tallest building in Dubai? What about that? But I can't tell you how many people in the past week have gotten into my comments, oh, but they were bombing military targets. Dude, the biggest fucking building in Dubai is not a military target. What are you talking about? You're literally trying to blow up a big-ass building. There are videos of it online of them trying to fly a damn bomber drone into a fucking a building. Fuck you talking about? We're the crazy ones? Fuck off.
Which flies in the face of one of those 10 points which says we have to evacuate the region, which is never happening. Matt Finn, thank you. Here to discuss this is retired Navy captain and former Pentagon official Brent Sadler. Brent, here we are, 4 ships yesterday. What do you expect to happen today? There was usually 100 going through the strait prior to this conflict.
No, absolutely. And only 17 have actually been hit by anything, most of them with minor damage since the beginning of this war up to yesterday, and 11 more suspected attacks that missed the target totally. So the overall odds or the ability and capacity of the Iranians to actually sink ships going through the Hormuz Straits at large numbers is suspect, to say the least. But nonetheless, insurance rates remain high, and as long as that's the case, it's going to take a lot more to get the confidence up that they can sail and to get those numbers up from the 4 you mentioned.
What do you think of a plan in place to take that strait once and for all? Have you seen some of these plans, and are they feasible and achievable?
Well,
So where should I be getting my news from? If you tune into any legacy media right now, they're all saying the same thing. So where should I be getting my news from? I'll give you until 11:37. Well, I'm not gonna waste. I'm gonna check one more time, and then I'm gonzo. And empty. Perma. Done. Done.
Well, I
Just
haven't
like
seen
that.
any of the plans. I've been retired for several years, and again, much of that is very much behind the curtain of secrecy. But with the movement of heavy bombers like the B-52s and the non-too subtle signaling that a new form of bombing campaign could be unleashed if the Iranians don't play ball, I think that also speaks to taking out some of the hardened sites there in the Straits of Hormuz. And I think the only way we're going to get that confidence back is if the United States escorts or allows large shipping to go through there with, say, Marines on board to basically challenge the Iranians and to see if they actually have the capacity to really shut down the Straits, in effect call their bluff. And with that air power, anything that moves will probably get hit.
You know, Vice President Vance said yesterday he doesn't even know if the speaker speaks enough English to understand the details of a deal.
Why the fuck would I watch a foreign country's news station if I live in America? I don't go to Madagascar or go into Madagascar people's comments and tell them to watch American news. The fuck? Where do these people come from? I don't give a fuck about a foreign country's fucking news. You know why? Because when you have the somebody using the Ayatollah's account, the dead Ayatollah's account, the dead Supreme Leader's account, posting AI videos about them blowing up American ships? I don't give a flying fuck what any other country has to say. How come it is that because I watch American media, I'm expected to watch other countries? Oh, fuck you. I'm American. I'm going to watch American news. Fuck off. If you don't like it, then go fuck away. Go away. Get permit. Fuck out of here. Brain dead dumbass. Fuck out of here.
A solvable problem by a thing called a translator. What's going on here?
Yeah, I don't buy that. I mean, the Iranians are not an honest broker.
No, I know that it was a joke. Trust me. That's why I was calling it out. Like, I wasn't directing that towards you. I'm directing it towards the people that are trying to do that stupid shit, because it's stupid shit. And I know some of y'all that have been like, that's why I didn't pull you up, because I didn't want any of that to be directed towards a specific person. That's why. I was trying to attack that mentality, not the person. If that makes any sense.
Quite frankly, by leaking out of a total.
By the way, sub to the channel, hit like on the stream. W all you new people that have donated, that have showed up every day. I've hit the like button. W all the channel members. Check out the channel membership. We're here every day, 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. every single day. Feel free to check out that channel membership. Please sub to the channel. Hit like on the stream. Everything helps. W constant viewers, W channel memberships, and W people that show up every day. Even if you can't sub for your own reasons, I get it. W people. Thank all of you.
Laughable 10-point plan that they knew was not going to pass on any one of those points. By leaking that out, it sows political discord here in the United States for those that are the administration's opponents, for cheap and short-term political gain, but it also sows a lot of confusion amongst our partners like the UAE, Israel, as to what exactly deal we're making with the Iranians. So this should be expected. There should be a cost on the Iranians for playing this game, certainly this late into this conflict.
So when the dust...
Bro, Bubba O on the other side say he get his news from the Disney Channel.
settles and the internet...
I mean, let's be honest here. With how much fairy taleism you have to be thinking to think that Iran is winning the war, bro, you gotta be on a different... Like, that's why whenever I first started, I was like, dude, what planet are you from? Where the hell did you come from? What stupid ship did you flow in? Like, how? How do you come to this conclusion?
How much damage do you think has been done to that country?
What the fuck?
Well, hopefully we'll get a lot more information without having to rely on the internet. And hopefully there's a lot more contacts on the ground there that are passing out what they're seeing. Again, the only way that we get to a long-term sustainable peace in the region is if the nature of whatever regime that comes in next in Tehran isn't a threat to its neighbors, to include Israel, and secondly, doesn't threaten to hurt American lives and doesn't threaten American interests. Meet those two very simple objectives. It's not the only way we're going to be assured.
That is true. Maybe
it
is their voice in their head.
But I think in the meantime, we need to make sure the U.S. has the leverage over whatever regime there is to hold them to the letter of whatever agreement that meets those two very basic requirements.
And Brent, real quick, militarily, this 2-week pause, if it does last 2 weeks, actually helps us. It helps us reload, maintenance the equipment, get other people in place, evaluate some things through satellite imagery. It really works to our military.
What's the matter? You mad because people are getting bombed? Are you mad and crying that a bunch of schizo terrorists are getting their asses handed to them? What's the matter? What's the matter? Are you mad that Trump is doing what he said he was going to do from day one? Are you mad because you're not an American?
And what's the message to Iran?
Don't.
As President Biden said, just don't.
Exactly. One word. Pretty straightforward. I'm going to bomb the shit out of them. It's true. I don't care. I don't care.
And you know what? I don't either. W. Donald Trump. You can't make peace with terrorists. That's not how it works. The sooner you come to terms with that, the sooner we can move as one on with society. Well, I just proved you wrong. That was when he was running for re-election. He said what he was going to do. I don't even have to use my own words. I can just show the video. Are you just going to keep ignoring that and doing this nonsense? What y'all think? What y'all think? What y'all think should happen to him? What y'all think? What y'all think should happen to him? I'm curious to see what y'all think. Oh, look, another comment. Oh, look at him. Gasping for air. Just like the terrorist regime over Iran. Hey, what the fuck happened to the poll? Ooh, 70. 70, dude. Ooh. 69. Where the fuck is the poll? Why can't I see the poll here? Hold on. I think he's getting banned. 66%. Why can't I see the poll? The fuck? That's stupid. Why y'all always got the same damn picture too? I want to point this out. Every person that had been getting into my comments, they've been saying the same stupid shit, got the same fucking little icon. They got the stupid little clippy paperclip. I want y'all to remember that little clippy paperclip. I've seen it with a red background too. Same shit. How dare y'all give Clippy such a bad name? Why the fuck can't I see the poll, man? That's weird. I can see it on the other screen. I can't pull it up here. But it's at 66. That's fucking weird, bro. There it goes. See?
Advantage, should we need them again?
That's a high probability. It's noted that twice now the president's mentioned much to that effect, to rearm, reload, maybe reposition military forces for another phase of the attacks that he's been hinting is going to be more intense. This could be that kind of pause. How long is necessary? I don't think is the full 2 weeks.
Got it. Brent Sadler, great job. Thank you.
I'm Steve Doocy.
Really?
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart.
That's interesting. Okay. So, unfortunately, that is the stream for the day. I like that little poll thing. I'm going to do that more often. All right, boys. I will be back on in a few minutes once I end this to do the fish and the calm after the storm. Make sure y'all show up if you can or you don't want to. That's fine. Thanks for sticking around. Thanks for the new subs. Thanks for the donos. Thanks for any new channel memberships. Thanks for returning channel memberships. Thanks for all the new people that are here. Y'all have been destroying everything. Y'all are awesome. Let me get this music going real quick. Stick around, sub to the channel. We're here every single day, 8 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Central Time. So make sure y'all stay safe out there. Stay away from crazy people because they're crazy and they might turn you into one of them. I've noticed that it's kind of catchy. Or it's the same people that just keep making accounts. And I will stay friendly out there. Try to put a smile on someone's face. You might change their whole day or their whole life. You never know. And I will see some of y'all tomorrow. Some of y'all I'll see in a few minutes. But I am rolling out of here, boys. Peace. Like I said, I'll see some of y'all in a few minutes, and some of y'all I'll see tomorrow. Stick around. Peace. Long mouth.
But I don't know if that can erase all the past and the pettiness. A reflection of the emptiness, hilarious. You think you're worth my time, you're delirious, mysterious, because you hide behind a fake exterior, inferior. You know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains that last, and to believe in what you got, it was built to last, yeah. Now that I've been put through hell,